Music.
It is pretty quiet for me. I was just trying to adjust my settings.
I know this one gets louder, so don't adjust your global.
Oh, okay.
Usually I have to turn it down.
Yeah. This is an earlier song, and I didn't quite understand audio balancing early on in composing these songs. Because I'd be like in FL Studio, and it would be like blasting in my ears. And then I'd export it, and I'd be like, oh, right, I made an entire song on like max volume. That's not how people listen to music. So all of my songs were like 30 decibels quieter than they should be.
My Windows volume isn't even 100%.
Oh yeah, no, mine's at 50% right now. Mine's at 50% right now. This song is at 60%, and my overall Forge volume is at 40%. So this is what like I can't
so
math,
funny.
but that
My
means this
Forge
is like
volume?
under 30% total volume of what the song.
My Forge volume 15%.
Yeah.
15.
Of course, I don't know how many of these volumes are set up linearly versus how volume actually works, but
Oh no.
What happened? Did I miss a message? Oh,
Konnor
my internet may be down.
Oh no.
Tell him to get on his phone.
Yeah, what the hell?
How is he just figuring out his internet is down just now?
I mean, it could have gone down 5 minutes ago, you know.
Oh,
Could have woken up like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
Not that I would.
I run this shit and I only got up an hour ago.
Oh my god.
I got up 20 minutes ago.
Hey.
I almost made it through my entire playlist before.
Wow.
I switched to the currently half an hour season 2 playlist. So
How did you?
I made through it. I made it
half
through
an hour? We haven't even started.
I know, what the hell?
What? What do you mean? Like, how is it half an hour already?
Yes.
Because I imported some of the core of the old playlist.
Oh.
You already know what the first 2 songs are. You already know it exists, and that I've done this.
I don't even remember.
Okay.
He was too busy trying to get through his almost 2-hour playlist.
That's fair.
I've also been too busy playing Talker's Challenge and
yeah,
getting absolutely destroyed by Matryoshka Doll Morgana.
Moto, I don't know how your like sound setup has changed, if at all, since forever. But like I used to have you turned up to like 160%, and now I have turned you back down to 100% to like volume match with everyone else.
It is. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's possible I do a lot more like actually talking into my microphone now.
Maybe. Maybe sound balancing was different when we were playing with Dallas and Konnor as the other two players.
It's possible.
Coyote did a lot of yelling.
Yeah, and also Dallas isn't the most quiet person in the world, so. And also, it's hard for me to project when I'm like talking from my neck.
Oh. I talk from my mouth hole, but that's just me.
You only think you do.
Oh.
Yeah, you only think you talk from your mouth.
Oh.
I was so close. There, I was so fucking close.
On talkers?
The other thing I've also been doing is I've been getting all the Rainbow Six operators to Elite 2. And I only have Fuse left.
Very nice.
I ran out of make my stuff go fast bots. It only took me like 4 million credits. And like 2,000 stamina. I guess they call it sanity in this game. But...
that's interesting.
Well, you're a pharmaceutical company, so you know.
I see. I don't think I knew that.
Which game?
Arknights.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like...
Huh.
I mean, admittedly, it makes sense. Because you're, like, trying to save the world from Omega space cancer, but... You know.
It's, on the surface, it's such a weird mix of things in this game.
Yeah.
Right.
What up, boo?
Just making sure you didn't fall asleep again.
Oh, okay.
I did.
See, I'm not the problem.
Oh, Konnor logged into Forge.
Oh? That bodes well.
Hello?
Hey!
Internet not dead?
Don't speak too soon.
I know,
maybe,
apparently.
Maybe internet actually dead.
Oh no. It was enough for him to say one thing before it cut out.
Yep.
Oh no.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry for the delay.
No problem. All right.
I wonder if I can access Forge from my phone.
Forge doesn't really work very well on phone unless you have like certain modules installed.
Okay.
Like you can turn on a thing where it's like just your character sheet for mobile devices, which is actually pretty decent, but I don't have that installed.
Oh, that's fine.
So, I didn't prompt any dilly-dally questions, so would anyone like to give the recap for a hero point? Who remembers what happened 2 weeks ago? I have it on decent authority that Moto does not.
Were we gonna do the wishes and stars thing?
I feel like it's easier to do that at the end instead of doing it at the start and then like shifting gears into like playing.
Got it, got it.
Although I did consider starting that when Konnor was like, "Oh, my internet might be down." That was almost my gear shift.
Sorry.
It's fine.
How fucking dare you?
Wish,
I know.
my wish, internet stays stable. That would be, that's a thing I wish for.
If only.
Yeah.
If only. Well, I'm pretty sure I have immunity.
I can't tell you at all what happened. I have immunity in being ignorant.
Oh, we're just voting ourselves out. Last man standing gives the recap.
Wife's still asleep, can't talk much.
Wow.
Bill has everlasting immunity.
You
Literally.
need to call in Bill when like one of those sessions where literally actually nothing happens. Like if a session is just
the hero
fight,
point.
that's when we ask Bill what happened.
It's Rise time to shine.
Oh. You see.
Plead your case, Ray.
I can't remember anything past yesterday.
Well, technically,
That's all I got.
technically, no one gave the recap last week, so I'm willing to jump right over the immunity if you want.
Oh, because no one else is jumping at it. Got it. Okay.
I'm trying to remember because my notes don't say when one session starts, another starts.
That's unfortunate.
Start from the top.
I can tell.
That's-
Yeah, recap the whole first arc.
So, anyways,
Go.
I was born.
More reasonable for this character the most. As a place to start.
Actually.
So the first thing that I remember happening, I can remember.
Oh wait, it's coming to me a little bit.
Are you gonna give it a go?
No, I don't want to step on that.
I can.
There's no toes to step on.
So the last time on Monsters Against the Void, we were trying to track good old King Oyer Fairman and King Rurath, because the Human King, what's his face?
He's on Solma.
He's on Solma. Turns out to be a Seraph sympathizer and has basically secretly occupied the drow town we're in, Kalmacort. And she knows what's up, but she's telling her people to lay low and wait for whatever moment she's trying to cook up. Meantime, we're looking for the other kings, who are more loyal to our cause of getting the Seraph the heck out of here. So most of the group kind of figures out where he's at in the little homestead, and the scene of action starts to distract the local guards with song and dance and a little bit of political rebellion, just minorly, but also saying you got the hey. I don't hate you guys. I hate the cause. I'm like that.
Yeah,
And then-
exactly.
Yeah. They get in and start talking to the kings, and decide to try to escape out the back as the rest of the human military starts closing in. And Turris, Turkon, and Stu catch up finally after following the human guards, and find out that good old Augustine is back from the dead, and is with Isan Salma and Lupold Michelo, a dwarf king of a rival city-state that probably would really like the throne of Oyer Farron. There we go, nailed it. Turris sent Armis out to confront Augustine and the humans, and after thoroughly punching Augustine in the face and taking almost critical damage, gets sent back to the castle, and while the others zip out the back, and Isha pretends like she has one of the kings, and zooms down an alleyway to cause them to try to escape that way. We all eventually meet back up again. I think we don't go anywhere until we get to the countryside and find the vineyard that Bakai the Pious was using to stage a little bit of a secret rebellion against what's going on here. And Turris starts opening up a door to get everyone back out of here to kind of finally escape Kalmacort for good, because things are too hot right now here. And as Turris is doing this, he is contacted. He gets a direct phone call from good old Seraph. Big old Seraph bad boy tries to invade his brain and figure out where everyone's at, where our little group is at. And just barely manages, with the help of Isha, to stave off the magical effects that the Seraph was trying to implement on him, and is able to maintain concentration on the door, and also delivers one of the best "your mom" jokes this realm has ever seen. But we get through the portal, and Turris seals it off from this side, so we can't get back to Kalmacort easily anymore, but wants to be there anyhow. And we find out that the snake-eyed person is standing in front of us after being invisible, waiting for us, and is like, "What are you doing in my tower?" And Turris is like, "Mom?" Question mark. Did I miss anything? Did I do good?
That was great.
Yeah, I have no corrections here. Any comments from anyone else?
Stu turned into a wheelbarrow.
Stu did turn into a wheelbarrow.
Beat me to it.
I had the brain slip.
Yeah, too.
Well,
I do have one thing to add.
yes.
There's like a ban on teleportation magic into Kalmacort. Or out of Kalmacort, I guess.
Yes,
Or maybe both. Which,
and it seems like they have some way to detect it. That is how the Seraph initially kind of like zeroed in on Turris's location and brain.
The city has a ban, or Seraph has a ban?
I think we can just kind of say that they're the same thing, sadly, at this point.
Yeah, we don't know like the area of effect for that. We just
Mhm.
know in Kalmacort when you use teleportation magic.
Yeah.
That's what prompted.
It is prompted by the people. I'm trying to figure out who gets pinged on that. Like, how did the Seraph get pinged versus, like, did the Queen get pinged?
I would guess that the Seraph is the one that cast it or set the ban. I'm not sure the parameters of how that
Mhm.
works.
Lots of missing
That's my guess.
information there.
Yeah.
All right.
It just seemed important to
Mm-hmm.
bring up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good reminder. Yeah.
All right. I did want to briefly say that I kind of like prompted the door to be closed and dismissed last time. I was like, "Oh, I just assume you do this." It is fine if we want to step that back, and if you guys want to discuss it at all in the following hours after arriving. As long as you don't like go to bed with it intact, I won't like screw you guys for taking a minute to actually talk about it.
Okay.
Didn't we talk about it when you
A
prompted us?
For like
Little.
10 seconds. And that's fine. If you want that to be the way it lies, that's totally fine. I just don't want my assumptions to influence your guys' decisions too much. So, wanted to mention that. But as we said, we left off with you guys arriving back at the tower, stepping through with your rescued kings. And you were all approaching the tower, ready to head inside, when the form of this serpentine-eyed individual kind of melted into sight in front of you, holding up a blade of force kind of towards Turris, accusing him of doing something to the tower. Turris responded with, "Mom?" And we see this kind of like steely-gazed woman, again, like, probably the second tallest person here, like a little taller than Ruth and shorter than only Turkan. They kind of like crook an eyebrow, and we see their hand kind of lower and then like raise again and then lower, and the blade of force like fizzles out. And we see her say, "Novel." and then there's a beat.
My heart.
And she kind of just crosses her arms and she says, "Explain yourself."
Well, I was hoping you could do that. After all, if this is your tower, you must have made me.
Not that I'm aware of. I left. And then I returned, and the tower was changed.
Well,
Hold on. Made you?
what's that?
Made you? What do you mean?
Oh, she's asking that.
Yes.
Okay. It's a rather abstract concept that people find a hard time to grasp, but I assumed you would know. I am the tower. I'm a physical manifestation and representation of the very structure, the very being, the soul. I am the essence of the tower, manifest in an avatar.
Her, like, crooked eyebrow arches a little bit more, and then she just kind of, like, looks up at the tower, and then, like, back to you. That's absurd.
Well, stranger things have been happening, yes.
I can rather explain nearly everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks. This I'm not so sure.
Well, to be quite frank, I was hoping you would have the answers. I was...
We
Rather-
could always destroy this form and you might return.
Sorry.
Well, if you're just a manifestation, Eincrad, then it stands that if this manifestation dies, you'll just return to the tower and then come back. That would
Considering...
be irrefutable, no?
Oh, as a demonstration.
I feel as though there might be less drastic means to support my statement.
Less drastic? Maybe. Irrefutable, no.
How are you so sure I'll just return?
The moment Isha speaks, this woman is like staring at Isha, looking a little confused.
This isn't about me. Stop looking at me.
Right.
Well, obviously you know about the call, yes?
Of course.
That is my heart, that is my soul.
She crooks an eyebrow again. Kor has become sapient.
Apparently I have.
So I think she like steps forward and does the thing where suddenly like both of her thumbs are just on your face and she's like pulling one of your eyes like open. She's like, when did this happen? How did this happen?
How long has it been? It's been like a week?
2 weeks now.
I was born 2 weeks ago, give or take. I simply... all I remember is waking up in the call room. I couldn't find anyone on the first floor, and... oh my god, bird. Couldn't find anyone on the first floor, and the floors above were filled with, well, things I didn't care to deal with at the moment. So I made for the nearest city. It seemed like the right thing to do.
And which way did you head?
Well,
Oh, sorry.
we encountered him in Monte Calana.
Yes, I headed towards Monte Calana. I felt drawn to that direction.
Drawn to it, of course.
What?
Just musing. Do you remember your first thought or realization? You said you woke up in the core room.
Just kind of like thinks on this for a moment.
Knew right away that you were the tower, that you were the core.
Yes, it just felt intrinsically obvious to me. I awoke seeing the core and I felt one with it in some way. I was it and it was me.
So you saw the core from your body, not the body from your core.
Yes.
Do you feel like a brain is here or there?
Yes. I suppose the first thing I did, I woke up, I sat up, I saw that I had hands, and I said, how novel.
But you don't remember who I am.
No, sadly I do not.
Fascinating.
You really didn't make me?
Well, normally one of the cores would have to be blessed with sapience and independence and a soul and all of that by one of the four. I am.
You're saying this has happened before?
Yes, I hesitate to say many times, but I've known at least a couple. And she kind of like looks past you and kind of juts her chin towards Envoy. That is one of them, if I am not mistaken, though smaller.
Oh, excuse me. Forgive my my rudeness. These are my friends. That's Envoy.
We have met.
Isha.
And Envoy kind of like
Yeah.
tips his head.
Does a double take.
He does a double take, and he's like, I apologize. I was not aware that you were seeking this issue.
How do you spell that?
V-I, and I'll just go copy paste it.
Alexa, how do you spell that?
Not to interrupt, you were introducing the rest of your companions.
Oh yes, this is Isha. She's very sandy. Turkan, very bold, very brawny, likes to throw rocks. Stu, very hungry.
Her eyes kind of like
But that's it?
linger on Stu. What'd you say? Sorry.
That's it? You don't have any other... What? I'm more than just my stomach.
Very good at stabbing things too, I suppose.
Ah, right, I'll take it.
Then there's Starris. As wise as she is beautiful, I might say. And then we have Scene of Action, one of the most noblest and most entertaining bonds I've ever met in my life, even though I've only been alive for 2 weeks.
Hey, I'll take it. And he'll reach out a tendril to shake the person's hand.
Yeah, she'll like uncross her arms to shake your hand. A lot of like humans, who she presents as, kind of like hesitate, get a little weird about the pseudopod don't really know what to shake, what they're doing. She does not care. Not put off at all.
If that's the case, then he's going to try a little harder to make it less of an awful handshake experience, like make it less like a fish.
I see you guys.
Yeah.
Surprisingly firm handshake.
Upon seeing the handshake, Charkon like realizes that he should be doing something. Reaches over and tries to grab like her entire hand. Giant hand.
Yeah, she'll turn and accept the the handshake, and she'll kind of crack a smile a little bit at the awkwardness of it, but you know, suppress that.
Eventually,
smile.
just hold out a finger and there you go. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, and of course, this is Marcerina. Perhaps looks like a bird, but it's some gin of some sort, I believe.
Roll me a flat 20.
Okay.
Okay, the bird is in fact still on your shoulder.
Nice, sweet.
She like does a double take, and then there's kind of like the bird like looks at Visitia, and there's kind of like a look passes over Visitia's face, and then like kind of recognition, and she nods at the bird. More understanding, not recognition.
And you may already know of King Rurith and King Oyaferin. We just rescued them from Kalmacort.
Yeah, she'll turn to Farron and be like, he'll kind of step forward and say, "Former king, I was ousted not but 2 hours ago," and she kind of like steps forward and kind of like bows her head, and she'll kind of like kneel before him and say like, "Ousted or not, it is always lovely to have royal guests. I'll make sure. Well, I suppose it's not my responsibility to bring out the good teas anymore." And she kind of like looks awkwardly at Turris, but then stands up and just kind of like glowers at the tall human king kind of standing behind the group. It's like, "Rurith," and he just grunts.
Oh, heavens no! Armus is the one that gets the. You haven't met Armus! Armus!
Yes, my king. I mean, yes.
Summons Armus.
I imagine just like walks out of the
Oh,
walks
yeah,
out of
or
the
he just
tower.
walks out, yeah.
And she'll turn around and kind of like look confused at Armus, and then at you, Turris, and then like point at Armus in confusion, like she's gonna ask a question, and then she just like waves it off. Wonderful.
Armus here has been with me. Armus here has been with me thick and thin through all of it. His essence also is derived from the tower.
She kind of she'll like give Armus kind of a once over, looking like up and down, kind of very curious, but already said hello, just kind of nods at him.
Mom, you know my French.
Nice.
Armus will bow.
This is our mother.
She does a double take. She's like,
Hello, Mom.
I forbid either of you from calling me that.
I think it quite suits you.
She turns and glares at you, Isha. And she's like, kind of like turns the glare into a smile. She's like, as does your new face. I didn't recognize you with the handsome new visage.
Ah, indeed. It was free.
$3.99.
Well, now that the introductions have been completed, are we able to go inside? We've been using this place as a bit of a home base for our operations. It's not going to be a problem, right?
Well, it is hardly up to me anymore.
Good. Steris is tired of being in the cold and will make her way inside
Yeah, she'll kind of like
rather hastily.
nod at Turris and be like, after you.
Oh, thank you.
And Ruth is going to kind of clear his throat and be like, I will not be staying. I must head north
No.
with great haste.
Yeah, what are your plans?
What can I do but prepare for war?
Is there a way we can contact you again quickly if we need to?
He thanks for a moment. Surely one of you must know a spell. Something to contact at long distances. If not, I have nothing prepared. I have nothing ready for you now. You have proven yourselves competent, interesting, if nothing else. There would be a place for you in my army if you wish to, if you find yourself aimless in the coming months. And without tarrying or waiting for a response, really, he's going to turn and start heading towards kind of like the front gate.
Is he taking Farron with him?
No.
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 Oh, okay.
And then you guys can all step inside.
Warmth.
Fire is already rolling from someone. Someone prepared one. As they live here in the cold.
Is oh my god, I'm blanking.
Maratan and Anna are not back.
Oh, they're not back.
Everyone else is present, I think.
I hope our new tower denizens didn't give you any trouble, Mother.
No, they were very respectful when I ran into them.
I'm glad you didn't oust them post-haste as soon as you found them.
I could tell immediately that something unknown was going on.
I still have so much to ask. How long have you been gone?
I step out frequently. Last I was here was 5-6 days ago.
Yes, you must have been the one the Earth Elementals mentioned.
Yes, it seems your recruits have grown in number since then already.
power of gods and anime on my side.
I've been.
Turris is warming herself by the fire, but she wants to ask, you mentioned that normally for one of the cores to gain sentience, they have to be blessed by the four. What do you think happened in Turris's case?
You can tell by her expression in response to that she's been mulling that over. She's like, I'm not ready to put forth a hypothesis yet. But, like, as you ask this, well, actually, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Sure.
Not to kind of, like, determine her motives, just literally
You're fine.
visibly observing her. Never mind.
Cool.
She just looks, kind of confused herself.
You also mentioned that between visits to the tower you noticed changes. What did you notice?
Well, the first thing I did when I arrived was reach out to have the door unlocked for me. And I noticed a strange resistance that would not have been there before, a hesitation. So, I stopped giving the tower commands until I could investigate further. Did not have time to investigate at the time, so, here I am. Investigating.
Has the the majority of the tower always been such so inaccessible?
No, that is, I kept the place quite tidy myself. Seems you have different standards.
Hey. I woke up to it being like this.
Well, we all let things get out of hand from time to time. It's understandable.
I assure you, after the business with the Seraphs concluded, you know about the Seraph, don't you?
Of course.
Is that what you've been investigating as well?
I have been making sure the problem does not get worse. She'll turn towards Isha, say, you, contacted me, 2 days ago about the towers, the anchors. Their camouflage has been failing. They have been falling back into this dimension, vulnerable to attack. I've been going around and hiding them as I could.
Wise.
So you are one of the ancient Naga that we've learned about?
Yes. I apologize. You introduced all of your friends, and I never properly introduced myself. I am Visitia Persophius. And she'll reach out her hand to shake yours, Turris.
And it clasps it in both hands, shakes it enthusiastically.
I am the Naga who shaped the mountains, who set forth the cycles of erosion and creation, and the bound Naga of Arcanus and yada yada.
It's quite a laudable title.
She again kind of just waves it off, not interested in the laurels of it.
Does Scene know anything about this person, whether through songs or whatever?
You've almost definitely heard songs about this person. They may or may not be entirely accurate, but you don't have. I've asked this 25 times. You don't have bardic lore, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then yeah, You've almost definitely heard songs. Who knows how correct they are? You admire the poetry of the songs and not perhaps the historical accuracy.
Okay.
Well, at any rate, very much like you, well, I may not have known why I was born, but it became quite readily apparent that the Seraph was bad news and that we should deign to stop him. We've been down in the Underdark, rallying as many allies as we can, trying to thwart the Seraph at every turn we get a chance.
She kind of yeah, she tilts her head. She's like, lofty goals.
It's simply the right thing to do.
Indeed. And you decided to do this because it was simply the right thing to do?
Yes, I felt compelled to.
And you say compelled, and her eyes kind of like narrow, but she nods. It is certainly a task that needs taking, needs tackling. I will help however I can. I must keep up my own tasks, of course, but the Seraph is all of our enemy.
Yes.
Do you know what you are doing next? It seems like you returned in a hurry, so I'm not... I wouldn't be surprised if you don't have your next move planned.
Well, our current, last objective was to see King Ruth and, Farron, free from Kalmacort. Now that we have that done, I suppose we were going to take a respite here and plan our next course of action. We've been freeing some of the world's old gods. Maratan, Anha.
We attempted to free your stall, but there were complications.
What kind?
His mind was elsewhere. We were unable to free him.
I realize now that his mind was not elsewhere. His mind was preoccupied with nothing but anger.
You think?
It seems likely.
Didn't Marcerina give us visions of his mind falling?
Marcerina doesn't understand the situation.
There's a little, like, flap.
She is a being who can read emotions. It is not... It is not the whole picture.
Turris kind of frowns. You don't give her enough credit. She was there with him for a very long time.
Exactly. And emotions can tell us a lot more than some other forms of information.
Serena, show my mother. Show my mother what you showed us.
The bird kind of stares at... The bird stares at Visicia, and she kind of, like, stares back. And there's kind of, like, a long moment of silence. And then kind of a... various stages of confusion kind of cross over Visicia's face. And she's like... And she'll look at Turris and be like, well, her phrasing really could use some work. But I believe I get the gist of it.
Well, if we can... At any rate, if we can renew... that you Ishtal. We'll have another powerful ally on our side. We've recently started a research into ley lines, and I'm finding
You are in the middle of speaking, and she kind of like, out of habit, kind of like, she flicks her hand, like open palm upward, like she's about to kind of catch something. And then could you make me a will save?
Oh god.
Okay, so there's like a little... Like, for a moment, your mind kind of like goes elsewhere, like you're in the middle of speaking and then your mind kind of like flashes to the library, and kind of like scans through the books and then sees a particular book, and then it like pops out of existence and into Vishishi's hands, and as soon as she does it, she like kind of realizes what she did, and she like looks at you kind of like a little, what's the right word? Like a little mortified, and she kind of like sets the book down on the table.
Apologetically?
Yeah. She's like, I'm sorry, Turris. Force of habit, I've been here for 1,000 years. It will not happen again.
He kind of like wobbles a bit and then kind of like straightens himself. I don't think either of us knew that doing that would affect me in such a way. But I can do that as well. So if you need a book, simply ask, I suppose.
Right. I will,
Ugh.
What exactly just happened?
She's going to like kind of frown, and say, could you lead me to the core?
Yes. To explain it, Sarah, she essentially unknowingly commanded me to summon the book for her.
Oh,
Yes, he... This core is programmed to accept certain instructions. I'm going to release those.
I appreciate that. And if you have any ability to teach me how to master them on my own, I would appreciate that even further.
I think... we can do that. I think that would be possible.
Splendid.
You have said the upper floors are a bit of a mess?
Yes, they seem to be inaccessible to say the least. We've never really talked about specifically what's on the upper floors, if it's just like some like Turris saw monsters and was like noped out of there, or if it's like completely sealed off from him for now or something, but
yeah. You can tell it's kind of a mess. It's like a little bit, I don't think you've been able to investigate too much. I think last time you opened the door upstairs, it was kind of like kind of a swirling mix of space. There was something you didn't entirely understand going on there.
I will convey that.
Okay. She'll nod, and she'll be like, I believe that as you clear the upper floors, well, you'll uncover facilities that I'm familiar with. I'll be able to instruct you in their use.
A novel.
First of all, and she'll kind of like flick her finger, and the book will kind of like open flat through a bunch of pages. And there's kind of like sketches of there's sketches of an orc, of a half orc holding an axe. A very strange looking axe. I don't know if you've, I mean, I know UV have played like Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
There's some organic bits on this axe.
Hmm.
At the blade of it, you can swear that you see like teeth. And she says, to come to the point that I initially was trying to bring up, some of the gods from my era, from before the Four came, they performed certain rituals to escape imprisonment. They put parts of themselves in items and left them in this world as they became imprisoned, things of that nature. And she'll kind of like turn the book towards you, and it talks about just like this. There's several sketches of this axe, and it just talks about how it embodies like kind of the hunger of this forgotten god named Zodum, I believe was the name. And she says, it's possible that something similar happened to Ishtal.
Huh.
I believe that Ishtal's mind has been fragmented into some sort of living weapon.
Or a living item.
She shrugs. If his mind
Was
was
it?
not there, it's possible.
Where are Nahia and Katota?
They're about. You can fetch them easily enough. They're like,
Okay, because I'm trying to find my notes. I remember they found like a sketch of something, and we were like, "This kind of looks like a horn." Or it looks like Ishtal's horn. So Steris will go try to catch up with Nahia and Katota and grab that sketch that they showed us. Bring it back.
okay. Yeah, you're able to fetch that, and there's a Katota for a moment is like, it seems like she's curious about what you need the sketch for, and very quickly is like, never mind. I don't need to understand what's going on.
You know, it's above your pay grade.
Exactly. You take the sketch back to the group, and
She'll kind of slap it down next to the open book. Be like, perhaps this is what we need to look for.
she nods. It's entirely possible that I've only met Ishtal a couple of times. But that certainly looks related to me.
Where did we get this sketch before? Was it from the records?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nahia and Katota went to the like archives.
Yeah.
Can't remember if that's what it's actually called, but
Yeah.
yeah.
This is the group where the book was stolen from, and they were saying like, yeah, this some other artifact was also stolen when the book went missing, and we didn't notice right away because it wasn't fully cataloged. But this is kind of what, like, you know, we have this sketch of this artifact, and it's no longer in our collection. So the person who took the book might have taken this.
Oh.
And that is that's the information Nahia and Kotota came back with when you guys got back to the city.
Mm-hmm. Seems like maybe we need to track down Farley. He was the one that stole the book, wasn't he? He was the one we stole the book from.
Mississia kind of looks at you and
Like-
strokes an eyebrow and is like, Farley.
Yes.
Odd
We
name.
encountered him. Then. Yes. My companions seem to call him anything but his name.
Why are you talking about Folgers again?
See? We encountered him down at the Moonlight Pools. And got the book that he seemed to have stolen from the archive. Perhaps we missed that he had this item with him as well.
Perhaps if we can get a hold of Apahu again, you might be able to help track it down as well.
I seem to recall that he was going to the other side of the world. Taking a boat or something.
Yeah, that may have been what he said, but doesn't mean he actually did it.
I would if I were him. It would be the more intelligent thing to do.
Well,
Steal something for a group of dangerous individuals and then get out of Dodge while the cauldron is not quite boiled over just yet.
Certainly sounds logical.
and miss out on other business ventures.
Such as what? You gave him like 50 gold for a book. That's more than enough money to get out of here and live a perfectly happy life.
Well, if he really is gone, Pahu returns, maybe he can help.
I think Apahu is here.
Apahu should be here.
Yeah.
Apahu didn't,
I thought
Apahu
Pahu
didn't
went somewhere.
do anything.
Oh,
Nice.
I thought they went to go. Okay. Well, perhaps we can beseech Pahu to help track down this artifact.
Yeah, his task. He's currently like poring over maps of the local area. Speaking of, let's just. You guys are sitting here staring at Kalmacort.
Bye bye, Kalmacort.
You know that you are north by some 50 to 100 miles. In a place called the Valley March. This map
Oh.
is the region has not been completely mapped for reasons that are related to another campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And Visicia's maps are a little more complete than this, but it's fine. And you
Oh, we are so much closer than I thought we were.
closer.
What now?
Well, fair.
Closer to what?
Closer.
Two valid answers are either the place from last campaign or like literally the dwarf kingdom above Kalmacort is like down southeast.
Yes,
little bit.
correct.
So both are valid answers.
Yes, and not the secret third answer.
Secret third answer. I don't even know what the secret third answer is.
I know you don't know where the secret third answer is.
I mean,
But I do.
I know many places that are close to this. I just don't. There are a lot of important things in this area. Anyway. I forgot what I was in the middle of saying when I moved you over here.
Apahu.
Yeah, Apahu's been looking at maps of this region. Yeah. Figuring that stuff out. So, Masicia will turn to you, Turris, and say, you likely have a lot to talk to your companions about. Planning your next steps and whatnot. If you could lead me to the core, I will break whatever connection remains.
Very well, if you think that's the wisest thing to do.
I do.
Certainly don't like the feeling those commands give me.
She kind of sets her jaw and nods, looking like grim.
Kind of furrows his brow, kind of like trying to. Thinks he understands why she looks like that, but kind of like watching her just anyway.
Yeah, I think after a moment she just says, "You must never follow a command like that again."
He nods and smiles.
So,
Well,
lead the way.
you may not have created me, but yeah, and he'll lead he'll lead her on, and you may not have created me, or at least not overtly, but I appreciate the agency that you allowed me to have. And lead her to the main chamber. Do the thingy to open up the subfloor.
All right. Yeah, that slides open. You lead her down to the core. And she kind of like pulls something out of her pocket, as you know, you're like turning to leave or whatever. She pulls something out of her pocket and kind of like fiddles with it for a moment. It looks like she's going to say something, and then just kind of instead nods at you and says, "Thank you. I'll be done shortly."
Very well. Turn to everyone else. All right, well, she's working on that. What are our next steps?
We should rest. We can discuss plans of whatever is to come tomorrow in the morning.
At the very least, should decide if I should leave the door up to Kalmacort or not.
If you leave it up, if anyone comes through and you decide to move it later, then they will be stuck here.
I can sit by the door.
Yeah,
And
what
if
happens
anyone
when-
is to find the door and we don't want them to find it, then they will have found us.
But if we get rid of the door, it'll take us far longer to return to Kalmacort. Didn't you want to go to the Moonlight Pools to free your mirror?
There are many ways to power. That is just the easiest.
Not only that, but the Drow Queen is still in somewhat of a situation.
You won't be able to save her. Not without setting off every alarm and whistle within the entire region.
Hmm.
And the Seraph is aware of you now.
Good. Let him be aware.
Right.
If your path takes you back to Kalmacort, mine must go somewhere else.
Now, I didn't say that, but
I'm making it aware in that if your path goes back to Kalmacort, mine does not. Maybe at the end we'll meet again, but for now, if your plan is to go, I cannot stay.
why not?
unending wave of darkness that he represents, that the Seraph will bring. It will need a light, and I plan to reclaim it.
Kind of looks to everyone else to see if anyone else understood that.
And where is this light that you'll be reclaiming, Isha?
Yeah. It's complicated. It is not a short-term goal by any means.
But you know it's not in Kalmacort.
Yes. It seems the window to reclaim the light in Kalmacort has passed.
Well, if that's the case, then I see no reason we go back to Kalmacort. It seems going back there will put us in more danger.
I just hope all those people down there aren't also lost.
We can't save them all. We did what we could.
You can rest easy knowing that the Seraph is more likely to enslave than to kill them.
Oh, join.
You are going to find a lot of darkness in the future. It's important to find the light wherever you can. I hope meeting your mother was a joy for you, Aincrad.
I will say it was a rather novel experience, even if it didn't lend as many discoveries as I'd like.
I think you'll find that many of the things in the world are hard to explain, and your existence is just one of many. It's important not to think about it, I find. It's not worth trying to divine your true purpose.
Well, I may not know where I came from, but I do know what I must do. What we all must do.
Indeed. And then Isha will walk away.
I can dismiss the door if everyone else is in agreement that we should not return, at least presently.
I think that would be for the best.
Very well. Door dismissed. May the gods have mercy on all the souls down there. You should find Ibahu and set him on this task of trying to track down the horn. Unless you think there's a different way to go about it, Stairs.
No. I think Apahu may have some insights. It's at least worth a shot to ask. I have a feeling our attentions are going to be taken up with other tasks.
Indeed. As we collect more allies, we should at least be able to expand our sphere of influence. And we've done a wonderful job so far.
We have. Don't minimize the good that we have succeeded in doing.
I'd really like to ask my mother about what she knows about the hand.
I'm curious about what she knows about the towers and what's been attacking them.
Wasn't that the hand?
Did we get confirmation of that?
I believe so.
That is like the one thing we actually factually know about the hand. That is like the
Right.
one thing we know to be true.
Right. I recall that we knew that they did it to one tower, but I didn't know if we got confirmation that it was all of them.
That is likely and almost certainly his goal.
Okay.
Mom will know what to do. And aside from that, I suppose we just get some rest and get out of our own most important task in the morning. So, Turris will go to Apahu and fill him in, and give him the picture of the item.
Yeah. He'll look at it and he'll nod. And he'll kind of. He'll think for a moment and he'll say, might be hard to get, eyes down south anymore. I've some contacts, I can pull some strings, but what, if he tries to escape through, tries to sell this or tries to get it out through a port down in Montclano, that might be hard to stop. Might be hard to get a lead.
I suppose we should hope that he returns northward, considering he's not quite fond of the Seraph's business himself, and well, he's I think from the sound of things, he's more likely to turn topside anyhow.
Well, if he comes this way, I will hear about it with great certainty.
Hopefully that is an eventuality, not a possibility.
He nods.
Thank you, Apahu. You've been of great help.
And then as you are finishing that conversation, there is this kind of like, it almost feels like, you know, when your sinuses suddenly clear up after being sick. Like, it feels like suddenly you can, like, breathe a little bit easier, like you're not kind of, like, monitoring your breath anymore. Like, you didn't really realize you were regulating your breath, but suddenly you aren't, and you're just fine. And, like, your shoulders feel a little bit lighter, kind of, like, all at once. There's just, like, this little bit of tension that is just not there anymore.
Oh. Oh. How novel. She must have finished.
And then, I don't know if this is where you are or where you're returning to, but this issue will be kind of like back in the common area of the tower, kind of the entryway.
Yeah, Turris will return that direction.
Yeah. She'll nod to you as you kind of enter. And you can see she's like turning a ring over in her fingers a couple of times. And she smiles at you as you enter. She says, well, I've come to a theory about how you may have been awoken.
Really? You tell.
You said it was about 2 weeks ago that you awoke.
Yes, thereabouts.
I think it might have been the last hesitate to call it a joke. Last little bit of mischief of a friend. And she'll kind of like set the ring kind of on. I feel like there's like a big dining room table or something in this kind of common area. It's, you know, some kind of.
That's what I've been imagining.
I imagine for some reason like big dining table. I imagine a fireplace with like 2 armchairs by it. This could all be totally wrong. But from the descriptions we've had go back and forth, this is kind of what I picture. She sets this ring on the table and kind of like slides it over. Says, I was dealing with this a couple of weeks ago, and I not foolishly, I should choose my words more carefully. I haphazardly made a wish over it, perhaps. And I think the magic didn't know that this ring had such a magic in it. I thought it was just keepsake from a friend. But I think the ring is what then brought you to waking.
Huh. And who was this friend, and what did you wish?
Friend was a fellow guardian. I don't know how much you know about the Naga, but she served Denala. Before that, then she kind of waves it off again, like she's gonna get into details, and suffice it to say, she helped set forth the cycles of life, things like migration patterns and she always loved the creatures of this world.
What happened to her?
It's a bit of a long story, but like all 4 of us were put into service by the 4 when they arrived. And then there was a rebellion across the sea. This rebellion, they thought they were harming the 4 by striking at one of the Naga. They did not understand. Anyway. She was the one that they took. The leader of that rebellion was turned into the replacement that served Denala for several thousand years. Explicita Defilis. Cursed name for a wretched creature.
God, I can't write fast enough.
This is all not that relevant. You don't need the proper nouns here.
What was the TLDR of that?
Rebellion attacked one of the Naga, thinking they were hurting the 4.
Yeah. So this Drow rebellion killed the Naga that was serving Denala. And that is who this ring belonged to.
Right, okay.
And I simply wished... well, if this place could take care of itself. And now you can. She says with kind of a smile. The sadness evaporating like it wasn't there.
Huh. How novel.
Yes, well, I think you should have this ring. Does it belong to, the one who may have, actually given life to you in a sense?
Her smiles and takes the ring. I appreciate that. I will keep this with me always. He slips it on his finger.
All right.
Actually, before he does, he like takes it and like looks at it in like
Yeah.
the light.
And it's like kind of a ring made of like these scales. It almost looks like snakeskin a little bit. It's all like kind of charred and blackened and looks a little bit like obsidian on the top, but then like in between all of the scales, there's like this silver that gleams through in the firelight.
Like looking at it, he kind of like remembers what Anna said to him. And you'll prize when you come last. Pass it along when you leave the track. Echo of heights that centers you low. And to find you when your task is to follow.
You are saying this out loud.
Yeah.
Who all is present? Is it just Starris and Turris?
Yeah, I'm not there.
Okay. And Turris, how involved are you in looking at the ring?
I'm like holding it up to the light as I'm like
Okay.
saying it. I'm just kind of like thinking about the riddle.
Starris, you see him doing this. You also clearly see Visicia, like, as he kind of like talks through this riddle. Visicia's face kind of like goes through like kind of like surprise, kind of hearing the words and mulling them over, to like sadness, to like when Turris kind of takes the ring and like that, you know, you take the ring out of the light as you're kind of like finishing mulling it over. Turris, Starris, you see her kind of like put back on this pretty convincing smile. And again, that sadness is just like gone.
Was that riddle familiar to you? She'll direct towards Visicia.
She looks at you and she's still smiling, but there's this like a little bit of just a brief glare. And she's like, never heard it before in my life. It's a good one though.
And Starris and all her snakes will kind of look at her for a while, and then she'll turn to Turris and kind of hold out her hand, asking if she could try to clean the ring up for him.
Yes, I suppose that'd be fun.
And I don't know if this will work, but I wanted to cast prestidigitation on the ring. So it looks like it's just like sooty and nasty, and maybe it can be cleaned off.
It's a little more like the scales on it are all burnt through.
Oh.
So it is not a matter of cleaning it, because then the, you know, it wouldn't be like polishing off the scales.
Misunderstood.
But Probably a little bit of dust down in between the scales, kind of covering the silver in some spots. And you do clean it up.
She'll hand it back to him.
Thank you, Sarahs. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the lovely compliment you gave me earlier.
That was simply Truzel.
Kind
Smile.
words hard to come by these days.
Well, I hope that done with the Seraph business sooner rather than later, and most people's thoughts are kinder afterwards. He slips on the ring with a smile.
Yeah, the ring fits perfectly. And Visicia kind of like starts to stand up and then like stops and says, to go with that ring. Some musings, if you don't mind.
And of course.
You are the Tower of One Guardian, and however your soul came to inhabit the core of this place, it seemed to have something to do with the musings of another. You might find that you are drawn to solve the problems of this world, to act as a bit of a guardian yourself. I'm loath to encourage you not to do that, but I do encourage you to ask if it's what you actually want. Don't blindly follow that compulsion. Everyone who travels with you has made a choice to do so. I'm not yet convinced that you have made the same choice.
Turris kind of frowns a little bit.
We, Naga, have only known duty and then servitude for most of our existence. Many long years. Be careful about willingly putting on that yoke.
Well, once again, I appreciate you respecting and even encouraging my agency. I don't think there'd be much of a world if the Seraph is able to achieve what it wants. So I feel as though this is the right thing to do at the very least, and after that, perhaps I'll have some more freedom to think about what I'd truly like. But right now, I do believe this is the right thing to do.
She looks like a little sad at all the ways you put it, and then she says, it is certainly the right thing to do. Now, you have, guest rooms made up in this place. Must be hard with only one floor available to you.
I know not if the properties of this tower were like this before or not afterwards, but it seems that the tower inhabits some sort of hammer space.
She nods, smiles. Kind of wide. It's like, I was always quite pleased with how much I was able to pack in here. Which you have done an excellent job maintaining, obviously. But still, one floor is one floor. And if there is not a guest room, I can make my own accommodations outside.
Oh, perish the thought. I'm sure we can find a room for you.
Very well. I would like to retire to it, I think.
I'm sure there must be one close to the study. I'm sure you'd like to be close to that.
I think I would like that, yes.
I can't begin to imagine how you're feeling right now, but I just want you to know, even with my agency, this is still as much of your home as you'd want it to be.
Nah, she'll again kind of like wave off the notion, and she'll say, well, the world is my home. I don't begrudge you this place.
Very well then. Let's at least find that room.
She'll nod, and when you show her to the room, she will retire.
Big EP time.
Yep. So,
I don't even know if we know how many rooms are on the first floor.
it's a little nebulous.
I kind of imagine we were all sharing a room. Well, except Isha. She claimed the tower? I can't remember what part of the tower.
I know Isha wanted the top of the tower for something on the outside, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Don't remember what. But yeah, everyone can get your rest if you like. Okay. And maybe it makes sense to take a break there and come back as everyone is waking up. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent. You guys in like 10.
Alright,
Alrighty.
BRB. All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Likewise. Huh. I forgot to throw it to the break screen.
Rip.
Oh well. Oh well.
So yeah, I've got blisters on my blisters right now.
Oh god. From what?
My job.
Fair enough.
What's your job
Hey.
making you do that got blisters?
Warehouse.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's fine. I actually, I'm actually getting out and doing something now.
Mhm.
And thankfully they have me on a Tuesday to Saturday schedule, so
Yeah.
my Sunday mornings are still free.
Nice.
Yay!
I've been applying to part-time stuff around here, and all of them are like, all of the listings are like benefits, flexible schedule, and all of these things. And every place that I've talked to, I've like interviewed in a few places now, just for like a part-time job to do on top of my like web dev consulting stuff. And like every place is like, yeah, but Saturday evenings are mandatory though. And I'm like, fuck.
What the hell?
Super flexible.
Yeah, incredibly
flexible.
flexible schedule as long as you work right during your Pathfinder game on Saturday. I'm like, no.
Right during.
I have 4 hours, technically 8 hours if we include Moto's game. I have 8 hours a week that I can't work, and every one of these jobs is like, but those are the days that we want. I'm like,
God damn
yeah.
it.
Oh, downside is I won't be able to do Zomboid stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Aw.
Oh, that sucks a
Until, like,
lot.
super late.
Yeah. I'm worried about that too
Well-
with my with finding a job, but like it's almost definitely gonna happen if I keep Sunday and Saturday open. Like it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, I got a 9 to 5:30, and then by the time I get home, at least this week, I've just basically not been able to do anything except lay down.
Aw. Yeah, working sucks.
Yep.
Hmm.
But hey, I actually do get benefits and decent
Oh,
pay out
good!
here, so I am happy with that.
That's huge.
Well, it's pretty common in Australia, actually.
Oh, well.
Like I get sick leave and vacation.
imagine getting
time, all that
benefits.
good stuff.
I literally
like,
can't.
damn.
Literally
Not
can't
here, but okay.
I hate that I'm like filtering my. I have to filter these jobs that I'm applying for by the ones that like give healthcare. Like that's what I actually want, is to get a part-time job that is scamming my employer out of healthcare.
Uh-huh.
That's the dream at the moment, and having Saturdays open.
But guess what? I don't even need to have a job to have healthcare out here.
Fucking
I
incredible.
God.
Yeah,
Okay.
aren't you cool?
I guess I'll just
Damn
move to
straight.
Australia.
You have a country that cares about you. Damn.
Hey, if you guys ever need a reference here, to write one
All
for
of us
ya.
are just gonna move to Australia.
I would die, actually.
Yeah.
Colorado's
I
already a
need
little
to.
rough for me in terms of heat.
I'm going through an immigration process.
Oh yeah,
again.
that too. Yeah.
The heat isn't
Hey,
horrid out here.
Dylan,
Yeah,
you come out to Washington.
That's-
It's nice and mild here.
that's not a different country.
No.
There's no healthcare in Washington. You can't trick me.
You can't trick me.
There isn't,
Yeah.
but there is like required, like employers have to give you at least like 5 days of sick leave. I think.
Yeah, I do. Colorado's actually
Wow.
pretty good about that stuff too. Like minimum wage here.
Got Medicaid in Oregon. As
Fair.
long as you don't make over a certain amount of money.
Currently, I definitely don't.
I'm always over.
I do imagine if I actually get a part-time job on top of the consulting stuff, then I probably will be over whatever lines. In terms
So
of the
annoying.
I was denied Medicaid in Arizona because I made $15 over the limit.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, the cutoff is stupid.
Oh
It
my
is
God.
so stupid. I don't.
Yeah.
I work for insurance, so I don't have to worry about it. But it's
But you know how
I hate it.
stupid it is then.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Is V back? Not yet. Okay.
He's
You got stuck in the toilet.
I almost did. Okay, I'm gonna try to let my dog in real quick then.
Are you feeling better today, Mitchell?
I don't have like, I'm not snotty, but I kind of feel it like in my chest.
I was very mad to be receiving messages from you at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You can be bad.
You should be resting if you're sick.
Yeah, but I was watching Castle, so I was resting.
I watched so much Castle when I was sick last weekend.
Oh, that's the regiment? That's the prescription.
It's just
Yeah, you should watch it.
it's the show I'm
Oh no, V's
obsessed
left.
with at the moment.
He's moved into the latrine.
Oh.
Oh.
It is because the AFK timer went off.
Oh no.
It's hard to move
Yeah, he
someone
got
back
stuck
up.
in the
here.
toilet.
Actually,
He
actually got
actually
stuck in
did
the
get
toilet.
stuck.
I'm gonna move him back.
Oh.
That was me. I'm moving back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I gotta be back.
Okay. V is the one I need to be present.
You're like, I can't actually proceed without him.
Well, we could start. We could end the pause, but I like. Ugh.
It's
he's-
okay, we can wait. I'm happy to yap.
I didn't know this was gonna happen, but I like had Visicia do the book thing, and I immediately got like nauseous. I was like, "This is gross." And like, kind of the point was it for it to be gross, but like, ugh.
Aw. You didn't realize how much it would affect you.
Yeah, I feel weird. And welcome back. Okay.
Well, the
I
real
don't know if
problem is
anyone-
that Visicia's not a bitch.
Yeah, right. I mean, if it was a bad guy casting charm or whatever, not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it. Okay, V. I was just saying that Visicia doing like the book thing, it made me feel like nauseous, and I don't know if you care. I don't know if anyone else cares.
You physically got nauseous?
Yeah, like literally, like the whole time until the break.
Yeah, that's why we needed the break. He was like, I gotta go.
Yeah. Got barf real quick from my own storytelling.
No, not actually.
Not
Oh my
actually,
God.
not actually.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I don't know if anyone else actually cares or was affected by that in any way, but it might be a good role model for the for the safety tools real quick and be like, let's just rewrite that scene. Just real quick, just have it be that she like went to do that and backed off before the fucking will save actually happened, because I just feel gross about it.
Sure. I thought it was a compelling narrative, but yeah. If
Yeah.
you're,
I think we can tell the narrative without, like, I agree. You know what? I can be fine with it too. I can get over it.
It's up.
If everyone's cool
you're
with
the
it.
DM, it's up to you.
It's really hard to bother me, so
I-
something like that was just like rolled off my back, no problem.
Okay.
Bother,
But
bother,
everybody's
bother,
different.
bother.
Okay, well, he bothers me, but
Yeah, I guess it's like, I don't know.
I liked it because she like realized it immediately. It was like a force of habit thing, and
Yeah.
then she put two and two together and immediately responded in like a really respectful manner.
Okay.
I thought it was a really good representation of her character because
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel
I can-
feel the same.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced to keep it in.
okay.
It was the opposite of a toxic trait.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
But if we need to debrief about it, we can.
No, I think I'm good. I think like running the game for another hour after that without like the step away. I don't know. But I'm good now.
Thank you for checking in.
Yeah. Sorry that I
Yeah.
inflicted that upon myself while everyone else was not bothered.
Poor thing. You're allowed to pause at any time when you're uncomfortable too.
Fair.
Those safety rules aren't just for us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. They're a one-way shield. What do you
No,
mean?
they're not.
Protection from the adversarial GM.
Correct. Correct.
Would you like to take more of a break?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You
We've
don't need
gotten
to
a
go take
good
nervous
20
shit.
minutes out of the 10-minute break. I think I'm all right.
Okay.
So, I think everyone's back. Yeah, I heard everyone. Okay.
Wait, so did what? You could have played an X card for yourself?
I should have, yeah.
We're saying that he should have.
Yeah, I should have slapped the X card button and just been like, hold on, a red flag. That was bad.
Aw.
I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, yeah. Now we'll continue as I hear my dog start barking at a neighbor or something.
Oh no.
It's probably a squirrel. It's probably fine. So it is the morning. You all awaken, feeling well rested, feeling relieved that the tension of the previous day and the escape from Kalmacort is behind you. Some of you. Maybe. I'm gonna stop telling you guys how you feel.
You can make
There's
a
an-
If you
there's
don't
an
tell
air.
Sarah's,
There's an
if
air
you
of
don't tell
relief.
Sarah's how she feels, how will she know?
hey.
There's an air of relief about the tower, whether it is coming from you guys or not. But Acelia and Lawyer Farron feel plenty relieved. So, as you awaken, Turkan, I'm going to start with you.
Uh-oh.
You open the door to the the room where you sleep, kind of just outside kind of the main dorm. And outside is a kind of wrapped ball just in front of the door with a note sitting on it.
Okay, I'll bend down and pick it up and peel off the note.
All right. The note says, I have to assume that Turris is already providing you with food while you're here, so I thought I would provide my tax in a different way.
It's not signed or anything.
It's not signed.
I'll look at the ball.
Yeah, you kind of unwrap it. It's just it's kind of wrapped in a sheet, just a thin cloth. And you unwrap it and you see a kind of gleaming metal underneath. And you find a pauldron. That kind of looks like simple steel, though close inspection in the light reveals an almost bark-like pattern to it. This is a bit that you can add to your armor. That will add the resilient rune and the aim-aiding property rune to your half-plate. So it's just an upgrade to your existing half-plate.
Okay, do you need to make those and send those over to me, or do I just need to edit my half plate?
You can just edit your half-plate directly. And actually, I couldn't decide. So we'll give you a choice between aim-aiding, which just means people can shoot around you without you giving cover to enemies, which I thought might be nice because you're large.
Yeah.
Or you can have staunching, which means if you get bled, you have an easier time naturally recovering from bleeding. So I'll let you take
I think
the pick.
aim-aiding.
Okay.
And what was the other thing?
Resilient. That is the what's it called?
Just resilient?
Yeah, the resilience. It's the.
No, it says resilient, rune, resilient.
It says what?
Resilient, rune, resilient.
Yep.
Greater resilient or major resilient.
Yeah, just regular resilient, yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'll apply it and then I'll go find the larder.
Excellent. And then Steris. How often do you check in with the Vengeance site, if I may?
Every day.
Okay. So before...
When she's not actively talking, she's trying to see if any of her companions have made her mad without her knowing it.
Of course. So, the previous day, something I forgot to go over. Over the course of the last day or so, the orange blob on the horizon that had been to the southwest had made their way almost immediately west, and like much closer while you guys were in Kalmacort. They might have been as close as Montecolana City, but they were definitely like kind of in the mountains. Today, as you kind of like wake up and start looking around, you see almost certainly not the same person.
Oh.
But it's hard to tell. You only know the direction and the distance. But you see another orange dot, and this is
Sniper!
the straight west, maybe a little northwest from you.
Okay.
From where you are right now at the tower. And that is my housekeeping for the morning. So, what do you guys do as you awaken?
I talked a lot, so I wanted to wait, but
Sorry, I was writing. You said that it was like a small dot, right? Like I can't. That's still fairly far away, despite it being different.
It is maybe only 30 miles from you.
Oh.
The other dot that you had seen the previous day was
I realize the questions I'm asking you are hard to answer.
They were approaching Montecolana City, and they were maybe 50 miles west, southwest of you.
Okay.
Now that you guys have gone through this portal, that would be like the place where you saw this dot would be about like 100 miles southeast of you.
Mm-hmm.
South by southeast. But of course you can't see that dot anymore.
Right. New target locked. Okay. I imagine that Stairs just makes her way to the common area in preparation for us talking about our next steps.
All right.
So I think the party tends to find her closer to the fire, keeping warm.
Yeah. And I think the so we've talked about how cold it can be around the tower. I think the sun is actually like when the sun is overhead, it actually gets like the sun is pretty warm, and it probably gets a little above freezing even with all the snow outside, even up this high in the mountains.
I got solar panels on the roof.
Installed them yourself.
Yeah.
So, even though it gets quite cold at night, you get the feeling that that's only because you guys are so high in elevation.
Mhm.
Or what have you.
Isha is talking with Asilia and Apahu.
Okay. About anything in particular?
Yeah, I have a task.
Okay. Yeah, they will quite happily listen to whatever request you have. And if you want to vocalize that or DM me about it, either is fine.
I will tell you that I give them the scroll of shrink item.
Okay. Roger. Apahu will say,
And I also give them a signet ring, and then like a necklace that looks like a sundial.
okay. Apahu says he's already like working on something for Turris, trying to, it's like trying to build up this supply line situation to the tower and like make connections with like the smugglers nearby and all this stuff. And he's just like, what's the priority? What should I prioritize here?
That is, you should do Einkrad's task first. You don't need to go, but if you can find some help for Asilia, I would find that very helpful.
Help I can do. In the short couple of days, he's already like made contact with some of the nearby establishments and organizations. So he thinks he can manage that.
And of course, Asilia, do not be afraid to ask for the assistance of Nahi and Katota.
I gotta run and let my dog in. But Asilia nods and is like, yes, I'd be glad for their company on this, I think. And now we'll be right back.
And then, yeah.
All right, I apologize. My dog is
And then
my dog is such a romantic. He likes to go outside and lay there and watch the sun dip down before the tree line, and then immediately turns and he's like, "I'm fucking done. Let me inside." Carry on.
and
Sounds
then
like my
Isha
cats.
walks into the common room probably a little bit, much later than normal, probably. Like, uncharacteristically late to the morning meeting. Was I not pressing down my push talk button? Or...
No, you were.
Okay.
I was going to ask, does Isha look well rested?
Yeah, it's not like... It just looks like, she woke up and went and did something else first. Have we... is Einkrat here?
At the moment, I think it's just you and I in here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if everyone else has woken up yet.
No, I can walk in just like arms full of food.
Oh yeah, I think Daria has made herself at home in the kitchen,
Oh.
and is the meal quality has gone up somewhat today compared to yesterday. I mean, I'm sure Turris is an excellent cook, but
He's existed for 2 weeks.
I think it was mostly just like free for all on the food, and now there's someone actually like putting
Yeah.
together meals.
I would imagine that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say, does she look well rested? I don't know if you could tell if Isha has ever looked unwell rested in her life.
That's fair.
She's the only time her physical form changes is when her curse progresses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, otherwise, it is just like literally a snapshot.
The dissolution of your face seems to be outpacing its reconstitution today.
Oh. Well, seeing as Yicha is walking in, Steris will say you retired rather early last night. I'll fill you in on what Turris and what information we got from. Oh God, I keep saying her name wrong. The Cishia. And
What about her?
Steris will share the theory of how the theory she shared about how Turris came to be.
Okay. I'm sorry, I failed to see the relevance to me.
Oh.
I don't need an explanation for Turris' existence.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Perhaps it's interesting to somebody that's not a god.
Ex-god.
Not an ex-god. You seem preoccupied. Is everything all right?
Yes. Do you perceive that there's something wrong?
Well, you're not usually late.
I was busy this morning. I got a little tied up doing some business.
What kind of business?
Personal business.
Must you always be so evasive?
Oh, I love being evasive. But if you must know, I've asked Cecilia and Apahu to do a favor for me.
Will you share details if I ask?
No.
I doubt it. So I'll refrain from asking.
I'm sure you will understand when the task is done. It will be hard to miss.
Ominous as ever. But you should know that Turris put Apahu gave him some tasks as well. Hopefully it doesn't
I am
interfere
aware.
with your favor. Oh, good.
I don't need Apahu's expertise.
Just Cecilia's.
It is helpful to have Basilia. She is intimately familiar with some of the things I require.
I imagine there is a shuffling in of the monsters, the party over the next probably 20 or 30 minutes or so. I think Oyer Farron also joins you guys. He kind of goes to one of the chairs by the fire and just looks kind of deep in thought, kind of unsure. But doesn't engage directly and doesn't start any conversations himself yet.
I would like to approach Farron and ask him why Rurith didn't take him with him. I thought that was the plan when we left Kalmacort.
I think Rurith has his own plans, as always.
Well, and you said you were the former king.
Indeed, it seems the other rulers of Kamataklana have decided my service is no longer needed. You have saved my life, saved my freedom, but I'm not sure what I should do with it yet.
We tend to find use for everybody in this tower. I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Gives kind of a slow nod.
Sorry to take it back to something more personal. Did you and Einkrad decide what your path looks like in the future?
No, the plan was to discuss that together this morning.
Understandable.
I feel that this is a team effort, but I noticed you speaking of your path very distinctly recently. You feel it's different from the rest of us?
The path to the end is different for everyone. Regardless of where that ultimate destination lies, then well, if we're still waiting for Einkrad, then I can turn my interest to Oyerfern.
I'll go gather everyone. Then I'll go round everybody up who's not here.
All right. Yeah, I think. Yeah, all of the party is gathered up and brought out to kind of the main common room. This issue will kind of show up to observe and see what you guys are planning.
I trust everyone had a good night's sleep.
Yes. As hospitable as always.
Thank you, Stairs. Well, what is the situation at hand? When are we at? What pieces are on the board that we should consider?
I believe I've defined a purpose for our good former Dwarven king.
Oh?
Baron kind of looks
You'll
over.
need someone here
Go ahead.
to help with diplomacy and creating alliances. Surely a king is trained in such things.
I was just coming to a similar conclusion myself. But particularly with regards to the giants. I believe took a look at the maps. I believe I have an understanding of where we are. The main valley of the giants is but a few days to the southeast. I can reach out to them.
Beware. They will be mighty allies, but I also am aware of some knowledge that they have been corrupted in the past.
Ah. Well,
It is still worth a shot, though.
I will be wary.
If you believe that it is the right thing to do, I think we should do that anyways.
Their leader is... We have a friendly relationship. I believe he'll give me an audience and will not simply throw me in a cell. If they are so close and they are also an enemy, then it's better to know that sooner than later as well.
Of course.
I'll try to make sure
You plan on
do.
going alone?
I could perhaps use an escort there.
Serena, what about you? Are you a capable fighter?
The bird.
Bird does that.
There's instead of sending Marcerina, we could just simply beseech the...
Naya and Katota, perhaps?
No, I was going to ask that we go to the... Sorry, I don't know what fucking directions are. There's a town to the west. It's a port town. There's a expedition of heroes.
Well, I think Naya and Katota are both very heroic.
I was not saying that they weren't heroic.
It will take time, extra time, to beseech these heroic mercenaries. And money, I would imagine.
Hmm.
A moment later, the lot of you have a couple of you hear, quote unquote, Marcerina, and she kind of gives an image of her going with Farron and them getting attacked and Marcerina just turning into a massive air elemental and blowing the attackers off the side of the mountain, and then turning to you all as the giant air elemental and nodding in approval, yes, this will work.
So capable.
Yes, very capable.
Don't underestimate her, Isha.
I never... Oh, my lord.
Well. So we have Farron sorted out. What about us?
Well, as I said last night, as long as your path does not immediately return you to Kalmacort, then I'm with you.
Yes. And we have decided not to return to Kalmacort. Turris dismissed the door yesterday.
Probably for the best.
So we have the artifact. This is table talk now. We have the artifact that may or may not be linked to Ishtal. We have the puzzle box we haven't done anything with yet, except we have it. We have the towers. I don't know. I can't remember if we need to do anything there, but...
The towers are really just it's bad if people go and break all the towers, but it's also not a very interesting story to babysit all the towers.
Okay, great. Okay.
So the Sishia's got that under control until you hear more about it. We can.
Great.
They might come into play, but at the moment there's no reason to think that any in particular are in danger.
Cool.
Yeah, because the one that we know is for sure gone is already destroyed.
Yeah. I guess just to really quickly kind of go over it, Vicitia will have filled you in that one part of the way the towers were destroyed. Both of them were in the Valley March. And they used some kind of devil ammunition, some kind of devil siege weapon to like break down the defenses of the tower before you react viscerally, and Sisha's like, huh?
He had fear of siege weapons.
But she describes kind of these purple fireballs fired by these devilish cannons, and it all sounds quite familiar. So the one lead to pursue in terms of the towers is like, if you could find the source of that ammunition, that might be a good spot to attack to safeguard the towers for a little while.
Okay. And then, so we're talking about our options, and Steris will also share that one of the targets that my patron has allowed me to see with my vengeful sight is rather nearby. It is a bit of a personal matter, but we could make our way over there. I'm eager to see who it is.
I am willing to follow any such directive.
Want to fight? Let's fight.
I can always count on you for a fight.
Would it be perilous to attempt this?
Nothing we can't handle. Though again, this is a personal matter. One I may need to deal with on my own. Once we're there, of course.
Well, I'm sure we'll help you as far as we can go.
I have already set in motion my plans, so it is fine.
The details of which you're still not sharing, right?
Correct.
What did you do, Isha?
I have simply asked the people that we have recruited to our tower, to your tower,
To me, yes.
to help me in a little endeavor.
All right, and how does this endeavor further our goals?
It doesn't. Furthers Isha's goals. Which
I
may
don't
or
know
may
if
not
you-
align with ours.
I don't know if you've noticed this, Stairs. My goals are your goals.
Then why are you so secretive about them?
Because I want it to be a surprise.
I do like surprises. As long as they're not siege weapons, anyways.
Oh, it is no such thing, I can assure you.
Surprise catapults.
I advise that you do revel in the surprise rather than trying to pry a straight answer out of a sphinx.
I'm learning how to do that.
Just be happy I'm not going to give you a riddle instead.
I do hope, speaking of which, Anna and Maratan return soon.
Well, we are much closer now, and there's no way for me to contact them that we have. Where did you send them, anyways?
Well, I found some notes. I suppose facetious notes on ley lines, and I thought it novel to help Maratan with regaining some of her power, and perhaps to aid the tower in the future. To search for the nearest ley line, and perhaps any sort of device left behind to track ley lines. Actually, Patricia, I believe it was your tool that they're looking for. Is that not right?
I seem to remember having an item like that in my possession. Sometimes it is hard for me to keep track of things in this human form. So clumsy.
This isn't even your final form.
Well, it's not my first form anyway.
This is even your final form. That's so fucking funny.
What's wrong? Well, you meant.
You could describe it as my final form. I don't think I'll have need of another permanent disguise at any point.
Well, you're in a room of monsters. Don't feel like you need to appear humanoid if you don't want to.
It is more a matter of convenience than fitting in. Fitting inside, more like. It's hard to get through the front door as a Naga.
I understand that.
How novel.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, she like looks at looks at you, Turkat, and is like, could get a Robera to teach you if you think you could use a smaller form.
That would be cute.
Can you
No.
imagine a mini Minotaur?
Did
Like 2
Stu
feet
just
tall?
did Stu just say no?
No. Stu needs his transportation.
She'll like grin and like nod at Stu. Say, very well. I would not wish to offend.
Could they make me bigger?
Yeah, let's do that one.
I don't. I suppose so.
Then yes, I want to learn to teach me.
I'll see when Aurora can swing by.
Just see like the sparkle in Turkan's eyes.
So it's decided we will assist Steris in her endeavor.
I think that'd be appropriate. did-
Vicitia,
Yes.
if you could you try to find a way to contact Anha and Moratan?
I'm sure I can go find them. What would you like me to tell them?
I don't necessarily need to be told anything. Neither do they. I believe they're perfectly capable of finding whatever trinket you lost.
Those two.
Oh, so you guys won't get on her for underestimating something.
As far as I know, she doesn't do it as often.
I think you'll find that that's not quite true.
All I know is there is nothing quite so changeable as the fancies of a god, and you've sent two of them to comb for a trinket.
Well, it's not just any trinket. Marotan, power relies on the ley lines and her connection to it. Well, she has some of her power to help us. She's not fully connected to this world as she once was. So this will aid her as well. And I may have been a trickster, but he's the one that provided that riddle, and he's done right by us thus far.
Perhaps they will stay on task.
Of course, if you think it prudent to go keep them on task, then maybe you can go do that as well.
No, I will share in your trust.
Well, this was a theory that I had, speaking of the task. I'm wondering if we can rechannel a ley line to be directed straight to the tower.
It is theoretically possible.
If this is, truly, if I am one of the defenses of this plane, perhaps directing one of the very lifelines of the world to the tower will help bolster the world's defenses.
She kind of like... She looks a little amused, and she's like, an excellent idea. I have faith that you will, you will manage just that.
Look at that.
Mom's approval.
Well, you would need to unbind the 4 ley lines, right?
That is correct. If you wish to restore the full power of the gods, old and new, then you would have to unshackle the ley nexuses from the 4. You can tap a ley line before you do that. That may give your companions the power they need while they are here to perform whatever magics you need of them.
Unshackling the ley lines from the 4, wouldn't be volatile, would it?
It would be dangerous.
Dangerous, yes, but
No, I think you don't understand. I saw an
Well-
entire race of people banished because they wanted to unshackle it.
well, I am not of a race.
The unshackling itself would not be violent, would not be problematic on its own. But all of those gods, old and new, would have full freedom to pursue their fancies. As it should be, I should note.
There's just like a slow, deliberate nod
Is there a guardian of this shackling? Is that what the issue is?
No,
Well.
the Guardian are the four, Eincrad.
And we who helped them place the shackles. And Vizicia looks kind of both amused and guilty at the same time as this conversation progresses.
Well, I think it would be a novel attempt if we can understand the adversity directly involved.
What happens to the four if we unshackle the Nexus from them?
Nothing.
They stay asleep. They hold on to some amount of the divine power that still flows from their dreams. But it is no longer purely their domain, purely their control.
Steris, you were there when we were at the vaults, right, at the moon pools, and you could smell the magic, how it was it smelled like everything. You remember that sensation?
Yes.
That is because the four have combined all the ley lines into one. An attempt to order a wild and chaotic world. Of course, this will take time. We will need to locate it, and it is not a singular position.
Well, it depends on what you would like to do. If you wish to... It is true that the ley lines flow over the entire world. But the shackles lie in one location. Four locations. There are 4 shackles. 4 nexuses. But if all you wish
we
to
were
do
to-
is bend a ley line here to the tower and tap it, then that is a simpler matter to find.
Well, you're saying we can still bend a ley line to be directed to the tower?
Yes.
In that case, I believe that should be at least a short-term goal. It will at least, no matter how far the hand move or devils, will provide some sort of respite to the effects that they've been attempting.
Weren't you warned that terrible things happen to people who mess with the ley lines?
Well, that's the beauty of it. I'm not a person.
There's a minor history of people self-immolating and the like.
I would never dare to try to master a ley line as this physical form, but I believe the tower capable.
Physical form is plenty to master a ley line.
Well, I do not trust myself to handle it, but I believe that the tower itself, my grander representation is... I suspect that it's well within its limits.
It will take time.
Of course. suppose it's something else that we could send somebody from inside the tower to investigate as we help Steris with the issue at the what was it again? It's your temple.
No,
Oh, I
I see
misheard that.
I see a vision of somebody whom I need to find.
I suppose we're all being cryptic today, aren't we?
If you explained the nature of your vision to Aincrad, maybe it will make things more clear.
There's someone involved nearby in the murder of my sisters. I seek them out for revenge.
Oh.
My patron gave me a gift of sight. I can see the nearest person who wronged me. And that's who I see.
It's not me, right?
It's not you, Stu.
No, thank goodness.
Scene
Not
would
yet,
ask.
anyway.
Scene would ask the same thing. I didn't mean
It seems slightly further away than me, so, you know.
You'd know if it was you, Scene.
Scene will just blink.
Belong.
The long, really gross.
Schwick, schwick.
Yeah, exactly.
Very well. Patricia, if you want to, well, I suppose we have to wait for Martin and Arno to return either way with word of the device. But I'm sure you'll be the one most fit to use the item to help prepare the ley line to be at least ebbed towards the tower and perhaps connected and tapped here.
She considers that for a moment and then kind of like uncrosses her arms, says, I myself am forbidden from meddling with the ley lines or the nexuses directly. The four may be asleep, but well, they did not have opportunity to release the yoke before they slumbered.
Is there any way we can do that? Release your yoke, your binding to them. And at the very least, could you provide direction in such activities? Even if you do not interfere yourself.
I can aid in certain ways. I can help direct you and instruct you, yes.
Any preparations or research or scouting that would help further our endeavors as we are setting apart our own task, I think would be useful.
Well, I think the only one who has moved or tapped a ley line in living memory is Druid across the sea. But I can gather up some materials that might be helpful.
I would appreciate that, Mother.
Is she just letting that slide now?
Yes.
she's
secretly,
accepted
she
it.
secretly likes it.
Aww.
I told you.
Her expression suggests she is quite uncomfortable with that.
Oh.
Isha leans over. Just give her some time.
Dungeon Mother.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Well,
So we move on to the matter of revenge.
indeed. That is a task I will not be accompanying you with. I will be here for one more evening myself before I must return to hiding away the anchors. The towers.
Well, if you happen to come across any information about where these devils stole their munitions or their war machines, I have a personal vendetta against those.
A group of adventurers from nearby seeks them to the north. Somewhere.
What means?
I'm sorry. Say again.
To what means? To what end are they searching for them?
Well, much like yourself, they wish to put a stop to what the devils are doing. Perhaps once your friend has found satisfaction, he says, kind of like looking at stairs. Loop to the valley between the desert and the high mountains, but a few miles north, and perhaps you will find a lead there.
At the very least, we might find more allies to our cause.
She like opens her mouth and then closes it again and then speaks. It is like, you might find this group's whims as fickle as the gods you sent out looking for my eye.
And everyone deserves a chance, at least.
Quite.
Very well. I think we'll have a good basis as to proceed forward. Do we not?
It seems you've a clear immediate goal.
Well, where we're headed is northwest from here. I don't know exactly what it will entail, but perhaps in some way it'll help us with our endeavors. At the very least, I appreciate the time to make progress towards my own.
Progress for one of us is progress for all of us, I say.
And with that, Masishia kind of like smiles wide and nods and says, well put. I think your group here will do well together. Now, I will go collect those research materials that you requested, and wish you good luck on this endeavor. She'll stand and head towards the study herself. And I think we'll end with you guys kind of like packing up, making your preparations for the day, getting ready to set out again. and head northwest with stairs kind of turning and tracking the that orange dot on the horizon itself, just slowly tracking north as you prepare to leave. And we'll call it there for the week. Leave a little bit of time, go over the stars and wishes for the next hour, if that works well for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
That works for me.
Oh,
Well, thank you guys for playing. I'm sorry that we didn't get to combat. I had a thing, but I didn't want to force it. Didn't come up yet.
Is it a thing that may come up later? Or
You may come up later.
Mm.
This issue was
I know
going
we
to
haven't had combat in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm sorry. I meant to have one last
You're
session,
fine.
and then I was like, oh, but they're like dancing around the combat, so like I want to reward that.
We have
and
been
then-
doing a lot of that.
and I want to, I was gonna have like some of the guards still catch up to you guys, so you get like maybe they find you at the vineyard, and then you have this scene where you guys just like murk all these poor guards. But then I was like, we spent a lot of time like getting here, and I don't want to like delay, I have not gotten a lot of combat encounters in recently, for sure. But this issue was going to encourage you guys to venture upstairs and maybe tackle the first floor of the dungeon, which maybe there would be a little bit of combat there.
Mm.
And she will still encourage you to do so next time. But
I'm definitely down for that.
yes.
So if I rip a chunk out of the wall of the dungeon,
Oh, no.
does feel that?
He feels it. I don't know that there are nerve endings. Like, I don't know that, I don't know that there would be pain.
This is something Turkon's been doing all night, waiting to see if Turris notices.
Wow.
Like, if you punched the core of the dungeon, there would be more actual pain. That would feel like an
I
actual injury.
imagine that
Don't
Stu
go in my
is
room.
like
Don't go in my room.
Stu's in there telling Turkon to try different things.
You're coaching him.
Yeah.
The brains
What-
behind
what
the
if
operation.
What if you tried this?
Just like cooking on how to hurt Turris from the inside.
What the heck?
How much of a nuisance do we need to be before he notices?
Well,
They just want attention. Aw. They're like, Turris got a mom and now he's ignoring us.
He never paid attention to what?
That is true. Stu turned into a whole wheelbarrow for Turris and he didn't.
Yeah.
He just went unconscious.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
Didn't even eat him.
Yeah.
Would have been the easiest meal of Stu's entire life.
I don't know. I've had some pretty easy meals.
It'd be so easy for Turris to
I'm
make Stu happy.
excited.
Just gotta take a seat. Just gotta sit down.
I'm
He has
excited
taken
to
a seat.
feed my enemy to Stu.
Mm-hmm.
that was a very funny moment. I love that one.
All right. Stars and wishes?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So I have 2 stars that I wanted to share. I loved the whole vengeful sight moment in Moratan's vault. That was like a highlight for me. Very, very great. And then earlier in the game, I really liked the whole like crime scene investigation for Oriel's death.
Yeah.
That like whole bit, really loved that. Those were my stars. My wish was similar to Mitchell's. Just the voice dying and then immediately being back was kind of like, oh man.
Oh, dang it.
Ah,
dang it.
it. And then I feel so weird actually saying this, but the lack of combat has just been a little bit like, oh man.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh,
And
no, he's
I'm the
gone
combat
down a resume,
hater,
dude.
so
Varys is going to hear that and be like, okay, I hear you guys want combat, so
No, wait.
all these hexes going this way, combat in every one of them.
Truly, I set out to have combats more often. Like, at least, like, not, like, one a session, but average one a session. There might be a session with, like, 2 or 3.
15.
It's an option. We can do it.
But yeah, those are mine. I really, really love the like investigation mystery bit. That's like right up my alley.
Awesome. Okay. Let me one moment. Where did my scratch paper go? I'm just gonna add this. Okay.
I'll take my hero point item now.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to dole those out. Okay. Okay. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I will try to I'll definitely try to be better about including combats in places where they make sense in the story. Like, really what I should have done last session is, like, even though you guys are escaping, even though you guys are, like, intentionally leading them on a merry chase, like I said, like, as you guys were getting ready to teleport out, like, some group of guards should have tracked you down. And we should have had some dice rolling and, like, a quick combat there. Doesn't have to go an hour, but, like, a little 25-30 minute scuffle would be good.
I think it's been like 3 sessions since I rolled a dice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hear that. Who would like to go next?
I already went first a long time ago, so
What's your star? I don't remember.
almost everything else. I really just enjoy being able to play. So
Oh, come on. I want something specific.
okay, well, you might want something specific, but I don't have anything specific.
Wow.
I'm more of a specifics complainer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I can
Like I can very clearly identify the things that make me unhappy. I have a much harder time identifying the things that make me happy.
Unlike probably literally everyone else, I can always kind of trust that Moto is just enjoying engaging with the lore of this world.
Mm-hmm. I guess I can go. I mean, my major star was the fact that you brought in Batzorg so quickly. I was not expecting the racist dwarf and Batzorg within like a week of each other. and no, they were not roommates.
Right.
Right.
We believe you.
Yeah, you should.
There's so many roommates
believe
in the
you.
campaign already. We don't need to force it on people who were never roommates. Actually, you know what's weird? They probably
Right.
did sleep at the same like barracks or like collective large tent at some point.
So they were
It's just a massive
roommates.
pile of minotaurs sleeping on each other.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Just a big old puppy pile of minotaurs.
Yeah. Whose horn is poking me? I don't really have any other specific like complaints
Okay.
or wishes,
I assume you
except for more combat.
Yeah. More combat, more dice, I imagine.
Mhm.
Was there any point in the first arc where like the combat pacing felt like good? Like,
The only standout moment I remember now, because sleep deprived, is the plant fight. I really like the plant fight.
cool. Yeah, that was a fun fight to put together. I'm still definitely learning how to put together like set piece fights for 6 people. So I think I've talked about this before a little bit, but yeah, stuff like the kind of final Nightmare in Martan's area. Like he just kind of stood still and like, yeah, he like feared someone and put someone to sleep, but like didn't really like move around. It wasn't a very dynamic fight. And as we got like halfway through it, I was like, oh, I don't really have a way to spice this up. So it's in my mind.
Remember, if you think 6 was difficult, just think of how difficult it would have been with 8.
Would have been rough. Slash,
Yeah.
I could have also just, instead of 1 boss monster, now I can just throw 2 boss monsters at you.
Yeah, that has been my fix for a while. Like, what if all these bosses are actually just like 2 monsters?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
And they,
2 monsters
but like
in the trench coat?
2 plus 2s or 2 plus 3s or something like that. Like
Yeah.
that would probably be.
And that's what the plant was. It was a monster plus a hazard, like kind of combining things and doing things on the same turn. So yeah, it's a good hack, a good fix that I should employ more often.
Anytime I get to pull off a wrestling move on a human is a plus in my book.
Excellent. All right, who would like to go next?
I'm just happy to be here.
That feels a little bit like you're just not turning in the assignment.
My mimic ate my homework.
True, valid.
Mm.
Darn it.
There should be more mimic interactions.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was my star, was
The mimic showing up.
the mimic
Yes.
showing up.
No.
Although I wish I could have had more of a encounter with him
Yeah, okay.
instead of Isha getting to go do the thing with my enemy.
Right.
Monster.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
we are.
Well, that mimic lived, and people know I love to reuse NPCs literally everywhere. So
It's not gonna live for long.
Not too much longer. Stu's gonna have his own revenge story.
Just from existing.
Yeah, literally. You existed near me, and now you die.
I finally hunted you down.
I felt like that was just like 2 dogs puffing at each other. I didn't think that like that was actually gonna go anywhere.
Did you ask Stu?
Yeah.
No, but
Oh, he
Stu should have
helped?
just stabbed him.
No,
There's a certain culture to it.
Oh,
It's
is there a
kinda
certain
weird.
culture? I gotta
Yeah.
educate myself on mimic culture.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
when
take
there's
a
like
minute
15
hour.
Stu, he'll
there's
tell you.
15 minutes of them yelling at each other in Brooklyn accents, and then after that, there's a 5-minute courting dance where actually they're just trying to kill each other, and then 10 minutes later, there's one of them is alive and the other's dead, I guess.
Like
Who
2
knows?
crabs
Also-
fighting it out.
Stu has little to no motivation to get off Turcon unless told otherwise, or the situation presents itself. So he was not
Forcibly
ready,
removed.
forcibly removed. So he was likely just, I don't have to get down
So there's the
till you make
star.
me.
There's the star, and what's the other one called?
The wish.
The wish.
Yeah.
Oh, the wish. I think Stu wishes that nobody ever suggests Turcon go small again.
Yes.
So quick to refute that.
It would be helpful.
It would be helpful, but
It
that
would be
means
helpful.
Stu couldn't be upbeat.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It's a problem.
Wear you
Anyway.
like a hat.
Yeah,
Where are you like a hat?
I I mean, I can change form, but I'm not going to suggest that. So
You could just make yourself a smaller chair. You know, size fits.
it's like a little kitty chair.
Aww.
Imagine like a booster seat.
All right, Konnor. You have any stars for me?
Oh God. This might be a cop-out answer as someone who's played in your campaigns for 4 years, 3 years, 3.5. I like all the callbacks. Especially today, there were a lot of them. It took me a little bit to remember who Zodom was, or not who Zodom was, who the person who played the I was
Who
like,
the fuck's
was
a
that
Nathan?
Yeah, I was like, was that Nathan's character?
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember his name. The only name that came to mind, which I feel is close, is Werner Horsop.
Robera?
No, was it Worm?
Oh,
yeah,
Worm,
or-
yeah.
He's talking about
Right,
Nathan's
right.
character name.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess the star would be great world building. I like all the. I like how it feels like. I was thinking this earlier when the dungeon mother person made the comment of as you like explore the different rooms, I'll kind of help you and whatever. It felt like in a game where you have like a home base and you have an NPC that you bring back, who's like constantly doing stuff while you're gone and like helping you, you know, get new technology or whatever. So I thought that was cool.
Cool. So you like the base building stuff that's going on?
Yeah, and I just like the characters
Awesome.
and the interactions. Like, I like how you take a lot of the RP stuff that we do and you run with it really well. Like the scene wanting to do like a mass performance and whatever. Like that felt very rewarding. So that was fun.
Cool.
In terms of wishes, give me a little bit and I'll think of it as the last few people say things.
Okay. Well, the last few people is a Voraktee. So, Weed, you got any stars?
More dragons is what I wish for. I don't have any stars.
Oh,
I
we're
just want more
jumping
dragons.
into the wishes. Okay, well.
They'll just DM me that. Sorry.
Next time you're gonna
no,
wish you didn't wish for that.
Oh no.
Oh no. One of my stars is definitely the base building, being able to like, you know, recruit allies to our cause and then be able to find a suitable tasks for them to do that we don't necessarily have time to do, or if we did, like, would, you know, cause us to take longer in order to kind of achieve simultaneous goals. Also obviously concur with all the investigation stuff. I'm always down for a good mystery, good whodunit, and that one was very fun. And I guess more specific for Turris especially is I enjoy the moments that that Turris gets to apply a little bit of diplomacy to the situation, and maybe could make some of the people consider you know, that they're not on the right side, or if they're kind of wishy-washy that that our side is the right side, or this, that, or the other thing. Even with like what is it, the small moment before we fought Augustine and the voice, like the fact that at the very least, like Turris was able to convince him not to kill our dwarf friend before the fight. Like it was kind of like a shows more in depth and like emotion and in character of like even the bad guys, even if we're like on opposing sides,
Cool.
which I find fun.
So even in cases where like someone is kind of a not well reasoned, but when they have a strong reason for saying no, for refuting the attempts to like kind of turn them back over, that's still like engaging and fun.
Yeah. And of course, anytime I get to use my Doctor Who psychic paper of yes, I should be here. I think I had another star and I forgot it, but I'll let you know later if I remember it again.
Well, you're already at 4, so you were juicing me up.
Well, I mean, I got some exposition today. I really enjoyed that, even though I felt like I talked too much. But
frankly, this was a time where I thought
It made a lot of sense for you to talk.
Yeah. Also, I really like leader Einkrad, even if he doesn't always make the most sense. Even if he's not like the most reasonable or most logical like person of the party.
He's got the most heart.
He's always he's trying to do something because it's good, and like I think that's really important as a leader. So
he feels like a main character.
He does.
Like, in general.
I love Turris.
I think we all do.
Yeah. I just think he's so cute.
Isha is mostly finds herself annoyed with him, but it's like, come on, man, like pretty please, just like focus.
Isha's definitely more on the. It's weird to call Isha pragmatic. It's a strange adjective for Isha, but
in this party,
yeah,
in this party, Isha is the pragmatic one, which is crazy.
Isha's sitting there like, in every timeline, this is a waste of time.
I have found exactly 3 timelines where this goes exactly the way Einkrad wants, and I hate all 3 of them.
I guess my only wish would be like I didn't really consider like the potential of like now would be the time to like start exploring the tower and like maybe try to clear a floor or 2 once in a while.
Yeah.
I've always felt like everything outside the tower is more important than this is our base of operations, which I enjoy. So I guess if there was like more of a precedent of like also clearing the tower does help kind of achieve our long term game of defeating the Seraph, like unlocking more of the tower. And I guess that like saying that out loud now kind of makes sense. Like if it is our base of operations, having more space to do things and having more potential rooms that have specializations and whatnot.
Yeah, just to
that do make sense.
Slide in a little bit more table talk RP for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Probably at one point during the evening and morning, Visitia makes some offhand comment of like, it'd be much easier to help you guys find that eye that I dropped if I had like my divining table, or like something about how like, oh yeah, the workshop down here is great, but like the alchemy lab upstairs, that kind of thing.
Knock your socks off.
Yeah.
I also feel like the first half, like the first arc, we very much were on like a strict timeline.
Yeah.
At least I was perceiving we were on a very strict timeline. So it didn't make sense for us to stop and do that kind of stuff. But now, Seraph is here, and we're just kind of making our efforts to abate him best we can.
Yeah.
We have flexibility.
Right.
I guess that's where my brain was at too, where it's like, okay, we got to get a thing done. We only have so much time. What do we got to get done? Okay, what's the next thing we got to get done?
Yeah, that's why I hadn't been pursuing any of my like revenge plot, because it didn't feel like that was the time. So.
Yeah, and mostly all of Isha's plot was like along the way. I tried to make it along the way, basically.
You did a very good job of that.
So
I have really enjoyed how Isha's story has been filled in bit by bit as we've gone along. I think you've done a really good job of like sprinkling that in very consistently.
Thank you. I'm excited to explore other people's stuff. I just like...
Yeah, me too.
When I see an opportunity, I'm just like, wow, this is a great opportunity. I'll opportunitize this opportunity.
Gotta opportunitize it.
I've probably leaned into it a little bit too much because it's just way too easy to make all of these like all these ancient shits know each other and be cranky at each other.
No. It's very fun. It just was such a funny trope that every single time we met someone new, it's like, and Isha knows this person. It's like, of course Isha does.
Yeah. And when it comes to, well, never mind, I won't reveal that.
Oh, you almost yapped too much.
Almost, yeah.
But I will say, by the way, that like I didn't feel rushed when I felt like there was like a sense of urgency or time. Like, I guess I just like still felt that even like today, where it's like, okay, like I didn't feel that, or maybe I just gave myself like I didn't ever consider that the precedent has changed now that the Seraph is here. Personally,
it takes a bit of time for it to sink in.
Yeah, well, the moment it's so funny because I don't. Were you guys here when I was talking about how I didn't realize that Varys was like trying to tell me that like I basically had run out of time to do what I was trying to do, and then all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, when that happened, I was like, oh, well, now I can just take as much time as I need. Like that was the moment where I realized that like, okay, well, now that he's here, I just like don't have to be in a hurry.
Yeah, if I can, like, to talk meta for a moment. The Seraph is here. He has got like a little bit of like some forces that he brought with, but like he doesn't have an army with him. And this is maybe obvious, but the whole point of like this intro arc for him, the whole thing that he was trying to do, that the Unshackled were trying to do, is like prepare for his arrival and make sure that he had like an army when he got here, but he still has to kind of like build his forces here. And the idea is not like big alien invasion. The idea is one very smart alien is like kind of fucking with the world, kind of like consolidating power here and bringing people under his wing. So it's going to take him time to do what he wants to do from here as well. Especially with your meddling. I don't know if all that makes sense.
Makes sense.
It does. Okay. It does. I appreciate, sometimes I need that, like, let's just say it in layman's terms, in like a really easy, digestible kind of summary. So thank you.
And you guys
also...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, good.
No,
you.
You're totally right that there was like a lot of pressure through the intro arc, and again, I thought it would only be 10 episodes, and I let it... I didn't have a super strong grip on the pacing to like make sure it was 10 episodes, and like I wasn't cutting stuff to make sure that happened and everything. It was just like, well, here's the timeline. You guys have X number of days from the in-game days from the start of the campaign before he like shows up, and that'll be the first arc. And like whatever happens in that set of days is what happens. So I always kind of like knew that we'd probably go into Turris's tower like after the Seraph arrived. Like that would be kind of the trigger to start dealing with these other things, basically. But I thought it would happen much earlier in terms of our gameplay experience of it.
I kind of liked that we were just like, okay, we got to do all this stuff before.
You're so focused.
Yeah, I kind of liked that.
Yeah. You were.
I don't know how, because I definitely like. So my notes aren't dated, but I do just always start on a new page when I start a new session.
Yeah.
So I can kind of tell when like a new session ends and a new session begins. And if I go back to like the 10th session, that is nothing.
Yeah.
Like that just
I don't think
isn't.
we had even gotten to the Moonlight Pool. by
There's
the
like
time.
you
nothing.
guys have been in the Moonlight Pools for like 3 sessions by,
Oh, did we?
by session 10.
Oh, okay. I was just reviewing all my notes earlier.
So it's like
Mhm.
really hard to imagine like this campaign ending at session like this, like the first arc ending at session 10 for me.
Yeah, there were just a lot of days that ended up being like multiple sessions. So, yeah. I don't know if I had other babble. I feel like I did.
I was gonna say that I am. If you, the one thing I didn't want to do is like try to shoehorn or really like push you to like do like tower clearing if you wanted to like focus on the world around you. So I was kind of like, I guess that was also my mindset. But if it does make sense to the story, I'm glad that it gives us a chance to do more combat in general. Like whenever we kind of want to opt into it, I guess.
Yeah. It'll definitely do that. And Physician would probably give you a line somewhere about like, it's important to understand yourself and get yourself in order. So like, you know, maybe clean up the second floor, you slob.
Wow. Thanks, Mom. Okay, I'll clean up when I can. Busy with my friends.
You know, maybe not exactly like that, but maybe the implication is there. Yeah, it's kind of my first time. You can probably tell that I lean towards supporting what the players want to do and like helping them kind of make their own decisions. And like I'm used to running very sandboxy games, and this isn't exactly that. This is still more in the narrative direction, but still kind of leaning into the direction of you're making your own decisions. You're deciding what you do in this campaign. So that means I fumble on like pacing and stuff every once in a while when I'm like trying to.
I'm running an AP, Varys. You can never trust the pacing of anything.
Yeah.
There's no way to like make your players go faster because you need the pace you picked up or whatever. Like it's just impossible. So I wouldn't be like, that's a bad thing I'm doing. I think it's fine. So like the nature of the game is that sometimes the pacing will be slow.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem.
And I think that's just about all the babble I have. So yeah. Thank you guys for playing.
Do you have a star?
Do I have a star?
Yeah, do you have a star for each player and a wish for each player?
I wasn't asking for all that.
I am.
I wanted to include you because you weren't asked.
I really, really enjoy this group and just like hanging out with this group a lot and kind of how everyone interacts together. I think it's a lot of fun. So that has been a star since like session 1 of just like I'm always looking forward to coming in and hanging out with you guys. And
Oh my god, guys, he likes us.
That's so gross.
I know.
Disgusting.
I think you should have to give a star and a wish for every single player.
See? I'm not the only one.
My God.
I started this movement.
Holy shit.
Roast me.
It's very easy.
What's that mean?
I wish that I had more character specific stuff for like. I haven't done a great job of bringing everyone in on that so far. I haven't had a lot for like Stu or Scene, or even like Steris. I haven't really brought a lot of your stuff in. So I'd like to manage more of that.
It is kind of my fault that Stu doesn't have a lot going on. because I was very nervous about joining a game like this. So I kind of just went with the most like backseat passive situation. He's so funny. So I do have like a little concern about like pushing too much narrative on Stu without it feeling like natural, but I am kind of like in that weird spot where I'm like, oh well, Stu doesn't really do anything, so I feel bad. I feel like I kind of put you in that position for Stu, but I also just enjoy being here, so
Fair.
I don't really care either way.
I mean, it totally makes sense. If I can, I will eventually kind of figure out the things that Stu cares about, and stuff will happen.
Nobody asks him.
Turkon has a special place in his heart for Stu.
Yeah.
I have one thing, and I feel like it's because I feel like I have to ask for permission to RP with Turkon and Stu. Like I feel like if I just like prompt you guys, it won't go anywhere. So I've been meaning to like message you guys about it, but I don't want you guys like to feel like you owe me anything or anything like that. So I just haven't.
No, I wouldn't feel like that. It's RP.
Okay, you have to understand though. You have to understand. I have this voice. I have this voice, and I read a certain way when I type, and even though I am being very sincere, it sometimes doesn't read like that. So even if I am like, hey, like, what are the things we think we could do, like, and it's just very complicated for me to ask people stuff like that. So if you're okay with just being prompted,
yeah,
that's
shoot away.
Easy enough for me.
Yeah.
I have no issues with that.
Yeah, I think everybody who's role played with me previous knows I'm really flexible. I just don't always speak out because I get nervous. So I don't any issue.
Okay, so you're like you need an invitation basically.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that. That's super easy.
I'm a vampire, so
that's super easy for me. I can
You
I can
gotta let me
definitely do that.
Stu's a vampire.
I mean, he's got
Bleh, bleh.
vampire arc.
Empiric mimic.
That'd be so cool. Anyway, yeah, don't ever feel. Again, I can't speak for Bill, obviously, but he seems to be on the same page. Yeah, don't ever feel like shy, or worried how we read stuff. I know there's no tone in text, so, and I also tend to respond with like really short answers that sometimes confuse people. So, we speak the way we speak, and if I never take things personally when I can't understand a tone in a message, or think you're asking too much or too little or what have you. So, I'll ask for clarification if I'm ever confused.
I love a clarifying question.
I'm always confused, so I have a lot of those.
Okay, okay, that's good to know.
I remembered my other thing, which is rebounding off of Konnor's star about like the world building and callbacks and stuff. But the people who haven't been playing with me for multiple years, is there like too much of that? Is there a reasonable amount of that? I've been trying not to like base my entire game on callbacks while still kind of like.
Yeah, I think right now it's at a good level because I think that the three of us that haven't been a part of it are like, okay, that's a name, and then the other three are like, yeah.
Yeah, it's that guy. Hey, look, it's that guy.
And honestly, there's some of it that is just like Moto and I think Sarahtonin is even a little.
There's a lot of them. The majority of them I don't get.
Yeah, like I think Uro was one that.
Yeah, Uro I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Some of the giant stuff I'm familiar with.
I feel like it's a good balance.
Okay.
because it also never feels like you need to know who they are. Like with Sodom and Worm, it was like, oh, this is a cool little nod to the
It
people
makes
who
things feel lived in, even if
Mm-hmm.
like if I expect, especially in a fantasy world, I expect to not understand half of what's being said because
Yeah.
there's magical beings doing magical things and stuff, and
I am a
and Stu's lived in his own little world for so long, like he's not gonna know anything, but that doesn't mean people don't exist outside of his little,
right. Yeah.
Stu-ness.
I'm a little bit of a sucker for like
Stu's
in Lord of the Rings when random proper nouns get just referenced that
Yeah.
that have never been mentioned
Yeah.
like in the books.
Attack of the Hobbits to Isengard.
But I try to, if there's something like plot relevant, I do try to re-explain it and not just be like, oh, this is a reference that everyone's gonna get. So as long as
I like
You. Sorry, go ahead, Voraktee.
I like the references and stuff like that. It's rewarding for people who played before to like understand those, right, if they get a chance to. But like
Yeah.
like hypothetically, like I don't think you haven't done this so far. I've really enjoyed this. That any of the stuff that we're hands-on with that kind of relates to the past, like any of us new players have, even if we don't necessarily understand it, we understand enough of the context of the situation that we still have agency and the ability to affect things in the world based on that, and maybe even help write our own lore based on the old lore. They completely change it up or add to it.
In general, most of the references are not things that have been super plot relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we could have continued this, like a previous character being one of the villains for the story is like something that didn't matter really.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I guess like the gods being trapped, right? That was like previous lore, or did you come up with that like in between? Like
That
Oh,
was
that's
like,
been known.
yeah,
That
That's
was
just like a core part of the
the
world building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And I like, I mean, I got to see some of the what is it, the Trello board and stuff like that, but that doesn't necessarily like mean that I've absorbed like what was before previous campaigns and what was in previous campaigns.
Right.
It's all just like old world to me, right?
Mhm.
What is it? But like, for instance, I guess one of my favorite moments is the fact that like I like the kind of like the subplot of Turris, like just, I mean, almost for the hell of it, being like, I'm gonna direct a ley line to the tower and like maybe supercharge my tower and like help it, like kind of help it to our cause, even if I don't necessarily understand everything it might do. I want to give it a shot, and I feel like I'm not being like throttled or limited on attempting that, right? Like there is a way forward to that, and specifically one of my favorite moments of like Turris is like, is there any like kind of tool that I can find to like maybe figure out where the ley lines are and stuff? And like both Varys and Moto are like, as a matter of fact. Like, I just thought that was just a fun little moment of like, that's just something my character wants to try, and yeah, it exists in the world and the characters know about it, so, or the players know about it at least.
That's actually another star I'd say is anything that players want to do, you make it happen in some way, and this has just been throughout all of our
Even if it comes up as a fucked up genie wish.
hmm
Yes, you can fly, but you're a fly and you live for 16 hours and then you die. Great. I did just ask for flight, didn't I?
Well, I appreciate that. I definitely try to work with players to like, if you're gonna run an open-ended game, then you gotta try to support the players and their goals. So, yeah, I try to make it workable and try to then throw reasonable challenges in the way. So yeah, I guess on that note, if anyone ever if anyone ever
don't feel like you also, guys, don't feel like you can't just like randomly add stuff all the time.
Definitely, I understand
You can always add stuff.
being a little intimidated to do so. when you don't have like a full understanding of what's happening or whatever. But do feel free to just make stuff up. Bill's been very good about that so far.
Yeah. Also, don't be afraid to just like add stuff to your character backstory. You randomly decide you care about something that you've probably not cared about before. Incorporate that.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. And then tell Varys, and he'll be like, "Oh wow, cool. Thank you very much."
And if anyone does get lost in the lore sauce and wants to babble about it, I am always happy to do so. So yeah. Thank you guys for playing and for the feedback. It is very, very helpful.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to play with you.
Oh,
Even though we didn't get our stars.
Yeah, I can't believe he didn't give us stars or wishes for each person. That's crazy.
I still think you should. You're not getting out of this.
Oh.
That's your homework for next week.
No. We have 7 minutes. You can come up with stuff.
Oh, I'm not demanding it, but I would also like to hear it.
You're all turning on me.
She's like,
I'm so sorry.
you know, I'm not gonna twist your arm. But if I didn't twist your arm, would that make you feel better?
You have to say nice things about all of us right now, and also mean things.
Rye did say to roast them.
I should have seen this all coming.
You should have, truly.
I would prefer to handle this in DMs.
Wow. Wow.
Do we accept these terms?
No.
But Senator, is that legal?
What if?
Well, Moto, one of
what
my
if
one of my
he sends
stars.
it to us and...
One of my stars, Mitchell, is that again you always like super engaged with the lore, and just you come up with stuff just on the fly all the time, and it's fantastic. And my wish is that you would get off my ass.
I think that's fair.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
That last one is only relevant to the last 5 minutes.
Oh. That's fair. I mean, I only wrote it one time, but it's fine.
And I will not be continuing this TED Talk at this time.
We tried, boys. We tried.
We can all just share our DMs with each other later.
It doesn't even have to be in DMs. I can like, if you want it to be a public thing, I can like throw it in the channel.
He just wants
I
more
need a
to
minute
think about it.
Yeah.
He's just like the only
You have
person who I know
60
I
seconds.
can do this to in public is Mitchell.
I want to consider and
Consolation.
reflect.
Consolation is that we get 700 XP for the session.
Yeah, we hit next level.
You mean
It's
600?
actually
Actually, it's
little.
less. It's 680.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, even better.
It's actually
Just
for the
sweeten the
lack
bar.
of combat.
Park.
It's a gift to us because you didn't give us combat.
It's a gift.
For overcoming the challenge of no combat, you can have 160 XP.
About
And
180
That-
XP.
That feels a little low.
coming up with new wishes all the time.
So we're at 480.
Why not give us the extra 20? Come on, let us be at 5.
Nope, it's 480. Park yourselves there.
You're already, having us hang on not getting our stars and wishes. So wait.
I have to re-emphasize that I love playing with you all and hanging out with you all.
Even if it means
Will you
getting
let us
heckled
be
for the
at
last
500?
15 minutes
Yeah.
of the session to give us more XP than we
What
deserved.
you don't know is I'm now reconvincing myself of this. This is why I'm repeating this. It's for me. Okay, I'm gonna go and stream. The stream's over screen seems like a good place to escape the Inquisition here. So I'll catch you guys in a minute.
Alrighty.
He's like, at least we can be Inquisition in private, not on stream.
Thanks for running, Varys. We love it. We love you.
Thank you guys for playing. It was a good time. I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to the next session and the inevitable murder. The feast.
The feast.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out for Pathfinder. It was a lovely night. I really enjoyed the session. It was very, very talky for sure. I meant to inject a little more action, but you know, sometimes it be that way. Sometimes the tower's mom shows up and you have to just engage in family time for a little bit. So I hope you all have a lovely night. I will probably be on Voraktee's channel shortly playing some Supervive. If you want to check that out. I think I'm just gonna hit the end stream button here and call it good. I don't think we're gonna fire off a raid. I always say that, and then I'm like, you know what? I know lunch is on. I know the secret lunchbox is on. So why wouldn't I send a lunch? So we'll do that in a sec. Just double check that I'm actually right. What the? Maybe he finished early? He finished early. No, there he is. Excellent, he's just chatting. We'll go ahead, we'll give a little raid. Give a little raid to the secret lunchbox. He might be ending. This looks a little bit like he's ending. Lunch, are you ending? Okay, no, I'm gonna beat that. All right, we're gonna raid secret lunchbox. I am resolved. So, I know I've been a little bit dead for a little while. I know that, yeah, I got sick last week, and I've been a little bit busy this week. I've been slamming out part-time job applications. We'll be back on the stream train really soon. I'm going to do a recap of the entire first arc, probably on Monday or so, and then start some prep for next week. We got some stuff to look at, so I will talk to you guys probably Monday. I'll get a schedule up tomorrow, I hope. And then talk to you guys again real soon. Have a lovely night. Goodbye.